Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, California, and this is Friday Night Tights, the solo edition. Greetings, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to everybody in the chat. I am fired up to talk to everybody this Friday night. I've been waiting for this. It's been a crazy day at home. There's weird stuff on my microphone. And yeah, I really like to sit around and talk to my friends on YouTube. I hope everybody is having a good week, getting ready for the holidays, or if you hate the holidays, completely ignoring them. You know, it kind of just depends on our family, doesn't it? Grace B, Cato Roan, Tim F, CD Horde, Chris Persia, Movie Finobi, Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch, Johnny Pappas, Odd Job, Connor B, Artemis Over Easy, Fred Laggett, Leggett, is it Leggett? Sorry, Fred. Ray Rain, my good friend Robert McCarthy. How are you, Rob? How's it going? Carrie Dalton. Let's go up here. We got a Penn Farm Girl. How's it going, Penn Farm Girl? We must acknowledge that we did get a super chat from Movie Finobi earlier, and I'll have to look that up. I also got a couple of PayPals that I have to acknowledge that I saw one of them earlier, and I just saw another one today. So yes, we have a PayPal tip jar, and I really haven't talked about it much, and some people noticed it. So that is cool, and thank you very much. And I will acknowledge that later in the evening. I got to pull that up. I should have pulled that up beforehand, but oh well. Jay Hunt, how are you? How's it going? Grace B is here. Greetings all. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. Like I said before, we've got some news to talk about. Of course, I was going to attempt to have a Doctor Who free live stream, but that's not happening. We got some news. There's actually a couple things. I was trying to work on a couple of extra videos, but then DJ Bowman, what's up? Some Doctor Who news was tweeted at me that is kind of a response to our videos. I mean, I'm not going to do a video on everything, but this person actually mentions watching videos and describes the people who are in the video, so of course I'm going to clap back a little bit on that. Classic donation from way back, my 2 cents, $2.01. What's up, Johnny Pappas? Thank you, my fellow San Diegan. Talim 29, good to see you too, my friend. Hello. A beautiful twisted mind. I like that name. Hello from Greetings, Canada. We love Canada here. We don't call you America's hat. We call ourselves Canada's pants. That's what we are. Or maybe we're Canada's lingerie. It depends on the evening. Connor B. Yes, we're going to a little trailer drop today. I don't know if anybody noticed it. The Game of Thrones teaser. Did anybody see that? Yeah, and Avengers Endgame. Yeah, the Game of Thrones teaser. It's a teaser. They're gonna slowly roll that out. Avengers Endgame. We will talk about that. We will definitely talk about that. We're gonna let some more people roll in. Hello from the Midwest, says Thomas Wagner Jr. Are you related to my wife? There's so many of you damn Wagners out there in the Midwest. I don't know if it's Thomas, but she has 7 uncles, so you're probably related. If you have like an elf type of chin, then you're related to my wife. They all look like elves, like Keebler elves, not like Lord of the Rings elves. Well, my wife does, but the women are beautiful, but the Wagner men, just kidding, Wagner men. I'm kidding. Hey, from Greece. Oh, Greece. Grindelwald is it Exedits? Is that one of those Greek names that I can't pronounce? Greetings, Greece. I will be in your fine country in about 9 months, and I can't wait. I've never been there. We're going to go check out some megaliths and some, oh man, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. Hi, everyone. Please send positive intentions to Susan so she gets better real soon. Do you think the BBC makes announcements to coincide with Friday Night Tights? I think they do. This is a weird announcement that Jodie Whittaker is confirmed for season 12 of Doctor Who. And my question is, yeah, I thought she was confirmed already. I didn't know this was in question. This is very unusual. I have not heard this from Peter Capaldi and from Matt Smith. And I'm even thinking back to David Tennant. I didn't think they were on a year-by-year contract, but apparently Jodie is, probably because she's a woman. I'm only half kidding on that. They probably wanted to test out the waters, see how it goes. Maybe that's how they do every doctor. They start out with a 1-year contract, probably because they got burned by Chris Eccleston. And maybe that's what they always do. I've just always assumed that the BBC was happy with the doctors they picked and they were always welcome back for a second season. I think they would try to lock them down for 2 to 3 at least. The interesting thing is, we've seen some clapback on the internet going, she's not going anywhere. Well, the reports didn't say she was leaving now. The reports said she was leaving after season 12. And what they're going to do is they're going to do some hoodwinking here. They're going to take season 12, they're going to split it into 2, and they're going to call that 2 seasons. And then they're going to say, we gave her 3 seasons, and then she's going to go. And I think what happens is everybody's fired up when they become the doctor, and then they actually go and do the work and deal with the BBC. And I'm talking about the writers, crew, everything. And then they see what that place must be you must be in HR meetings like every other day. They must have to update their HR videos on an hourly basis. You probably have to check in to make sure your HR is updated, maybe on a minute by minute basis. I don't know. It must be a nightmare. But they probably get there, they start to work, and they find out how not fun it is. And also the doctor, and that this is not just because she's a girl. It's a taxing job. So it was taxing on Peter Capaldi. I remember him saying, they will have to drag me away from this role. He said that multiple times before he started. And then after his first year, he talked about all the running around and how tired it makes you. And Matt Smith was like out the door after his first year too. There was always rumors of him leaving. I think he just wanted to go to Hollywood. Now, Tennant's the one guy who would have stayed. I think he bailed because Russell T. Davies bailed. I think Russell T. Davies bailed because there was some political nonsense going on behind the scenes at the BBC. I believe at the time there was a regime change, and Eccleston has come out and said that he left because of the political nonsense that going on at the BBC. Nobody was ever specific on what it was, but it was probably typical management, TPS reports, always changing, always having meetings and always changing their plans. I don't know. I'm a little spurned from Tesla. Okay, so Tesla loved to have meetings, and I'll never forget my first day there. Elon Musk has a little video for when you start, and in the video he says, "Too many meetings bury a business." It's a tired old model. If you're in a meeting and you find out you're not contributing to it, get your ass back to work. They'll leave the meeting. It's okay. I said it's okay for you to leave the meeting. And what did we have? Freaking meetings all the time. And we'd lay out these plans and we'd start the plans and we'd get in the plans and the plans would start to work. And because the plans didn't work perfectly in 72 hours, they had to change the plans. So, and yeah, that's what happens. I'm sorry, but when a company is run by like when people in management are like 22 years old, that's part of the problem there. Elon's still awesome. I love Elon. Was he smoking in that vid? No. I loved that he smoked. I don't partake, and I'm not a fan of the ganj, honestly, but I love that he did that. I think more CEOs need to do that. Loosen up, get the sticks out of their butts. No more prepared statements. Once in a while, go on Twitter and make the stock market go nuts. I love that shit. I fucking love it. So bless Elon. Yes, I have no complaints about him. He really tried to make a great place to work. The problem is you can't control everybody, and everybody's got their alternative motives. And a lot of his upper management that was under him was lying to him, and that's why a lot of them are gone. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I signed like 4 NDAs, but oh well. Yeah. So yeah, it's public knowledge that those people are gone though. Were there meetings in hallways? Yes, there were meetings freaking everywhere. Everywhere. Bless his heart. Yes, bless Elon. I love that guy. I love guys who kind of look like Bond villains who want to fly to Mars all the time and shit. Who sends a roadster to Mars? That, by the way, it made it. I don't know. There's no video of it or anything, but the roadster did make it to Mars. I don't know what happened to it since then, but oh yes, we're gonna let people roll in a bit. And thank you for choosing us. There is a lot of people live streaming, and I just want to make it clear that I don't feel like I own Friday night on the internet. So it is perfectly cool if other people, friends of ours, stream. Sometimes sometimes the streams get crossed. But as long as we're not in the men's bathroom, it's fine. So it's totally okay. And if any of you have gone to sporting events back in the 70s when, the men's bathroom was just like this big trough, it was terrible. It was terrible. So and Johnny, thank you again for the $2.01 super chat. And I forgot to acknowledge Movie Fanobis. Happy Friday at Nerdrotics and Friends. Doctor Who Silence in the Library rewatch, so good. Avengers teaser, not bad. Happy is on Netflix. Hashtag save Susan. Hashtag save Dennis. We definitely need to save Susan because she is sick. Silence in the Library is a great episode. And I have to rewatch that once in a while just to cleanse my palate of the nastiness of the current Doctor Who. So Jodie is back for season 12. That is a surprise to absolutely nobody. The problem is we're going to get more of the same. We're going to get season 11 all over again. I don't think any... here's my prediction. I actually think they are going to turn things around. It's their job. It's the BBC's job to go out there and say everything's fine. The ratings are good. People are not happy though. And just because the ratings are good, well, a lot of stuff gets good ratings that's not great. And it's who's watching. And I've got a video coming out on that for the kind of fan that they're going for and the kind of fans that they're just telling to basically screw off. And the difference between us and why, the old fans, I don't understand this logic lately with Star Wars and Star Trek, that, the old fans are tired. We just need to get rid of them and get new fans. There is actually a way you can keep old fans and get new fans. Now, you're not going to keep all the old fans. Some people are just staunch, and that's fine. I am actually not one of those people. I am, when I saw Star Wars and I saw it was that Rey was going to be a lead, I was fine. Great. I was really intrigued by the the stormtrooper taking his mask off, and not what color he was, the fact that he was taking his mask off and it looked like it was a defecting stormtrooper. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. What's behind that? We still don't know, by the way. And I'm all for that stuff. It's all in the execution, but this whole attacking fans and then like brushing us aside like we're meaningless. You guys are idiots. You're just freaking idiots. If you're all if some of you are new, I have to reset. I'm sorry, folks, but I was a comic book retailer for 10 years. That's on the front lines of fandom. It's not just selling comics. We're talking about TV shows. We're talking about everything genre. And I did it for 8 hours a day for 10 years. So I talked to real people in San Francisco, which is one of the most diverse cities in America. So all walks of life. And the one thing that everybody wanted to be was entertained. Okay. And we had different, thoughts on that, but we wanted to be entertained, and we generally love our stuff, and we are forgiving of, you don't have to be 100% strict to canon and to the rules, but you have to honor the past. And Doctor Who has not done that they've kind of followed the footsteps of Star Trek and Star Wars. I actually think Doctor Who is worse. I actually think Doctor Who is worse than Star Trek Discovery, but not by much. They're both pretty bad. But telling fans like me to fuck off is like, I'm looking over here. This was supposed to be a prop in my other video, but hang on. Give me just a second. I'm going to be making some noise here. I don't think new fans are going to have a box of Daleks. A box of Daleks. I have boxes of Daleks. I don't think the Daleks look silly. I don't think the Cybermen look silly. This new fan of Doctor Who, which I'm doing a video on, said those things are silly. but she's a Whovian. Sorry, you're hearing my dogs in the background. That means Mrs. Nerdrotic is home. Yes. So I'm the kind of fan you're telling to screw off. Okay, we'll see how well you do. And the end result with what we're going to get with Doctor Who season 11 is you will see next year you'll see the ratings go down, especially if it takes a break. I think the only hope they have is if they don't take a break in the middle of the season and they turn this thing around and have it within 9 months. Counterpart, a great example of keeping its momentum, is it came back in the same year. So Counterpart aired in January and it's back about 9 months later or 10 months later. And I don't feel like it's been away too long, and I'm rewatching it now. It's just as good. It's actually better. So let's get a little to the chat here again. Sorry about the dogs going nuts. That's just the way it goes. Hello from Germany. What is up? The sheep 866. How's it going? What's wrong with Susan? Asked Lubella. She has pneumonia. Good morning from Scotland. Oh man, it is early for you guys right now. What is it? 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning? Wow, what was that? The whole house shake. I hope I have a great time. I will have a great time in Greece. It'll be me and Mrs. Nerdrotic and Nerdrotic, the number 1 son, and Nerdrotic Jr. be the whole family. Giants are from Greece, Hidden Wiki. They are. Jodie Whittaker for season 12, huh? Will she act older than 12? Sorry, DJ Bowman. I don't know. I wonder if Chris Chibnall will do the typical Stephen Moffat and we come back a season later and the Doctor has aged 1,000 years. I hated when he did that. Moffat was so cavalier with the canon. It's why we're where we're at. It's you got to lay it at the lap of Stephen Moffat. And yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I'm looking into it. I'm looking into the change of Moffat, and it was during the 50th anniversary special. I think a lot of plans got changed on him. I think that the more money something makes, especially in a big corporation, the more people get involved, and that's when things get homogenized because you can't take risks anymore. And it could be argued that the first female Doctor was a huge risk. It was, but it's storytelling. There is no risks being taken. And of course, if we complain about the show, well, we're just called an ist or all that stuff. It's the same old argument. Although I've never brought that up. I've never brought up the skin color of the companions. That is not the problem. The problem is the storytelling. Which I broke down in a video pretty well, I thought. Karen Gillam, will you marry me? And please come back to Doctor Who. I love her as Nebula. I think she is great. And she was pretty good. She was really good in Jumanji. I like Jumanji. I thought that was a pretty funny movie. I liked it. Down with douches. Yes. Hello from Queensland, Australia. Man, this is truly an international broadcast tonight. Welcome, world. How's it going? This is cool. This will never get old. Greetings from Victoria, British Columbia. Dark Angel Ire, greetings. You were just north of me by about 1,000 miles, probably. Did you feel that earthquake in Alaska? Hey, Bourbon Sherbert, you only missed 7 minutes? Hey. It was just me babbling. TPS reports. Yes. It's great to see that you are wagging the dog and starting to get under the skin. The pathetically SJW BBC. Hey, Gary, where's Dennis tonight? Dennis is on assignment tonight. Susan is sick. So it's just me. Sorry, folks. You're stuck with me. Meetings in hallways. What is up, Kiss? Yes, that was annoying as hell. That was really annoying as hell. Oh man, I don't want to spoil too much from my video, but I sometimes they take forever to make, and then sometimes an article comes across and I just boom. It was ready to go, but I wanted to hold off. I wanted to kind of spread the Doctor Who stuff out because I'm trying to It's too late. I was trying to work on a why you should be watching Counterpart, so I'm just going to tell you tonight why you should be watching Counterpart again. And we are doing a watch party tomorrow morning on our Patreon, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm from Canada. Canada. Anyone else? Just me? No, Carter. There is more Canadians in here. We love the Canadians. So nice, you Canadians. Also, Kids in the Hall. Thanks. And Rush. I like Rush. Did you ever see Misfits or No Heroics? Two sci-fi superhero genre UK shows. I wouldn't mind seeing either creator take over Doctor Who. Misfits was good. Misfits was good. Yeah, I would like to see either Jamie Matheson or Toby Whitehouse. I'd rather see Jamie Matheson take over. He was my number one pick to take over Doctor Who. I don't play identity politics. I don't like it. I don't see the world that way. I was taught, my parents were not perfect, but they were really cool about that. They always taught me not to see skin color, just to see people as they are. And I tried to teach my kids the same damn thing. And then I see all this crap coming from, especially when it's clapbacking, when we're talking about TV shows and nobody ever brought up skin color. And then they're accusing us of not liking diversity and stuff because we don't like a TV show, which is just a dumb, intellectually dishonest argument that I'm freaking tired of, quite frankly. But if I had to play identity politics, I would have liked to have seen an Asian doctor, a black doctor, Filipino doctor, a Pakistani doctor. I don't care. That's what I was prepared for, but they kept the Dr. White. Interesting. If you want to play that game, which I don't like playing. See how bad that sounds? It sounds bad. Oh man, it's just horrible. Susan, feel better, baby. $1.99 for Movie Finobi. I will pass that on. She might be watching. Susan, are you watching? We love you, Susan. We love you, Susan. Susan is she worked herself so hard, she got sick. And that happens. I've done that myself. And she needs to rest now. She had a lot on her plate. She had a lot of stuff on her plate, and she was doing it. She was running a website, 1428elm.com, everybody. It's a horror pop culture website. If one of you wrenches could put the link in the description, I'd really appreciate it. She runs that website, and it is good. And it's fan side. It's from Fanside. Fanside is like I think it's run by Sports Illustrated, I want to say. But it's legit. It's not like our website, which is run by me. And then I go to my website today, and WordPress changed everything. So, listen, I'm old. When you change something on the internet, I go, my brain freaks out a little bit. And they changed all the settings and how I post my web. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious me. Batman, I'm sorry. Is Jodie staying because no one else wants her? 2 pounds from the Batman. What's up, the Batman? It's good to see you. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. I think she's staying because if they got rid of her after one season, they would look so freaking bad. It's the same reason they gave Star Trek Discovery season 2. Now I can hear all of these people going, it's got good reviews and the ratings are great. The ratings are not great. They're good. They're good. Great is maintaining. They had a 10 point. Isn't it funny how the ratings were initially 10.5, but somehow they found another 400,000 people to beat Eccleston's record just out of nowhere. It's kind of like finding votes later. It's kind of weird. So it was the most watched Doctor Who episode ever. But it didn't maintain the ratings. It dipped almost 50%. It dipped 50% here in the States, about 30 to 35%. And those are largely inflated. Ratings are bullshit. By the way, I used to work in the entertainment. Box office numbers and ratings are complete bullshit. Okay. They're all fudged. Box office ratings are actually fudged in the other direction, though, because think about it. Just think about it with common sense. You get taxed here in America. So why would you tell? I mean, the first thing you learn about business is you don't want to tell the government. I mean, you want to be honest, but you want to try every legal way to not tell them exactly what you're completely making. Okay, that's why we hire accountants to kind of finagle things. So why would you run out and go, our movie made $50 million? No, they tried it. It's a score. It's a way to keep score. The numbers are close, all right, but they're not real. Math in Hollywood is a funky thing. And it's well, just look at how they run their businesses. Look at how they treat each other. Thank you for the super chat, formerly Rod Line. Can they stop lecturing? I just want good TV. Thank you. Thank you. And we keep with the two actors who clap back on people saying it was too PC and saying it's really bizarre to have the term too and correct in a sentence and somebody has a problem with it. That's semantics. That's stupid. That's not what politically correct. Even the definition of it is wrong. Okay, it's the definition in one dictionary basically says if somebody says politically correct, you're basically being racist, which is not true. When you're saying politically correct, you are seeing that it's an ideology that tries to suppress language. Now, and it's a very broad term. Basically, when you're being too politically correct, you can't joke about anything. That's the way I see it anyway. You can't tell a dirty joke or anything around a too politically correct person, or they will get offended. Just the kind of person I don't really want to hang around at all. It's fine. I just assume you're all adults. You can handle a dirty joke once in a while, and we know when to refrain ourselves. And we don't want political correctness to take over, because then governments start legislating words and thoughts and phrases, and then it's 1984. All right, and then it's totalitarianism, and it's bad. Demolition Man, when you cuss and you get a ticket, that's when that starts happening. That's time for the revolution, folks. That's what I tell my kids. That's when believe me, they'll do it here first. They'll do it here. They're working on a Chicago has a syntax for video games. So they're working with PlayStation. The Quartering reported on this. I have to do some more looking into this. But believe me, San Francisco will be right behind them. We would not want to miss an opportunity to tax somebody. Tell politically incorrect jokes in public. Be brave. I do at the salon. Sometimes they think it's funny, sometimes they don't. The salon is a good place to test a lot of things. Oh man. But just people saying, calling somebody who says politically correct. I mean, that's like even holding back on you calling them something worse, believe me. But Jodie Whittaker being back is whatever. We're going to get more of the same. I assumed she was coming back. I thought it was assumed. I didn't think we'd get a radical change in the Doctor. I think I made it clear in my videos that this is what we're going to get. And it's sad because that means our show is dead. Those of us who liked the old Doctor Who. Now it's just the old Doctor Who and the old Star Trek. Bad haircuts. A CD Hort. No, no, we don't give bad haircuts at our salon. That's where Zach goes to get his haircut. The time for the revolution has already happened. Be more afraid of corporate-owned governments. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not against people making money. People can make money all they want, and that's fine. Just just practice self-restraint and be adults. That's the only thing is there's not a lot of people acting like adults. And of course, in this article, she mentioned, why are adults into a children's TV show? And yeah, that's the kind of crap I can't handle either. It's, you can be an adult and still like Young Justice. You can be an adult and like action figures. Doesn't mean I play with my toys with my kid. It's just part of it's part of my passion. I see it as art. So is being adult like being, I don't know, firmly sticking a stick up my ass and I don't. I mean, like, what's an adult? Describe what an adult does. Goes to work, pays the mortgage, pays the bills. Well, I do that shit. Okay, so or acting like an adult. What's acting like an adult? Who's the arbiter of that? Who's the judge of that? A 20 something writing an article for the Independent. Okay, all right, Junior. Thanks. Um, collectibles, they're collectibles. That's the talk I had to have with my kid, that there's a difference between when they're very young, you go, son, it's not the sex talks, it's the toy talk. There is toys and there's collectibles. Okay, so here are the toys you can play with. The ones in the package, those are dad's. They go in the wall. Problem is, dad like to take his out of the package. I don't like my stuff in the package. Old plastic action figures don't really go up that far in value. So the Hot Toy stuff done, the Mego stuff, well, yeah, Megos actually are more valuable in the boxes. Problem is, with the Mego boxes, they're so easy to counterfeit now. It kind of screwed up the market. Elevator Christmas music. Who's talking about elevator music? No, I play I like my rockabilly Christmas music. Brian Setzer Orchestra, Elvis, Johnny Cash. It's a good mix if you just I use Alexis. The Amazon thing. I know they're listening to us and I don't care. They can hear if they want to hear something, well, maybe they'll learn something. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mrs. Nerdrotic said. They might see us. Well, kids got to learn sometime. I met Stan Lee in an elevator, DJ Bowman. One of the many times I've met him, I met Stan Lee in an elevator at the Marriott in San Diego. I had blue hair and he was perfectly nice. He was a great guy. I said hi to my kid, my oldest kid at the time. My oldest kid at the time was absolutely speechless. His jaw was on the floor. He's like, couldn't believe it. And it was the first time he ever got impressed with dad. Like, oh, so this is what this comic book thing is all about. See, G Graham, thank you for the $5 Australian. What do you know about Sidney Newman allegedly saying in the 80s that there should be a female doctor? I haven't heard that. I've been hearing, somebody mentioned that earlier today. I don't know anything about it though. It wouldn't surprise me. They had a female doctor. Stephen Moffat wrote it in that Rowan Atkinson comic relief thing, and some people actually include that in canon, which is ridiculous. I've been hearing it for a long time. I've been hearing like there should be a female doctor for a long time, like a decade, but it was never really taken seriously. The thing is, the word on the street is they wanted Moffat to do it and he wouldn't do it. And I will point out that there's all these writers who are, so down with it, like Neil Gaiman and stuff. Well, then write an episode. If so many great writers, and I saw a lot of good writers who were down with it, why aren't they hiring them to write an episode? Neil Gaiman would probably write a competent Doctor Who episode. The one bad one he did, it wasn't his fault. It was supposed to be a 2-parter. They made it into a 1-parter last minute, and that's why it had a rushed ending. I would love to see the script. Thank you for the super chat. I will look into that. That's interesting. What are your thoughts on the new Avengers trailer, The Filthy Farmer? Oh, I think it's a good time to talk about that. I absolutely loved it. And one of the things I loved about it is they didn't show shit. And this is old guy here. I don't want to see trailers that show me anything anymore. I do that. Show me the what I loved about it is what we have here is stakes. We had the Avengers completely defeated, and this is the first time in cinema you're actually going to see why people love comic books. People love comic books because we read these serialized stories and we stay with them for about a year, and we see this big battle build up, and then we see our heroes just getting thrown to the ground. They're at rock bottom, completely defeated. And then you see why they're superheroes, where everybody else would just give up. I mean, half the living population of the universe is gone. That means dogs and cats, little Fluffy, went up in ashes. Imagine your little hamster just that's what happened. But heroes rise up for this shit. And you can just tell like we're getting ready for like the final battle. What Infinity War was just a skirmish compared to what we're going to see coming up. And yeah, I love to see him at the rock bottom. That opening with Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Downey Jr. showed why he's one of the best actors in Hollywood. When he's reaching for the mask, normal actors would just reach for the mask. Did you notice like how he moved his hands? Like he put so much care into just a simple act of reaching for a mask. And then he kind of caresses it because it's Pepper. That mask represents Pepper. And this is the last time he's talking to Pepper, and it's the mask. It's kind of like, Tom Hanks a little bit with Wilson. But yeah, he's like caressing it like it's Pepper, and he turns it on and gives that great, hey, all journeys end. Don't be sad. I'll always, it's always you. I mean, like, just in that little short time, it tugged at your heartstrings, and he just kind of caressed the mask a little bit like he's talking to Pepper. And that's why Robert Downey Jr. wins. He's absolutely one of the best actors ever. Watch him in Chaplin, by the way. And that had me in. I know some people were complaining there wasn't any action shots. I was totally okay with that. And for the first time, I was absolutely stoked to see Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, because I haven't been a huge fan because they haven't given him much. And I'm a huge fan of costumes. And he just looks like a G.I. Joe guy. He doesn't look like Hawkeye. He looks like Ultimate Hawkeye. But Hawkeye has a mask. Hawkeye is a cool mask that I wish they'd use. But having him in the Ronin costume, which I absolutely love that costume, was fucking awesome. And when he turned around, without saying a word, he telegraphed that his family went up in dust. Like his family just went, poof, which really gives a whole new meaning to the whole scene in Age of Ultron now. And we kind of get a payoff with that. So I thought that was cool. And seeing Agent Carter, seeing Cap acknowledge Agent Carter. So what they're telegraphing there is we are going to wrap everything up. And then, of course, the Scott Lang coming in at the end, I thought was cool as hell. And they already showed that they thought he was dead. So we already know, I mean, it kind of spoiled something, that it's going to have something to do with the quantum realm. I think that's no secret. But I freaking watched it 4 times. I watched it 4 times. I know it's not the greatest trailer in the world. Well, it kind of was to me though. Like emotionally, it was cool because I have watched every damn movie multiple times, and it honestly made me like Ant-Man and Wasp more because of that ending. It made it. I don't know. It changed everything. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And oh my God, sorry, I went on a little tangent there. Let me acknowledge the super chats, and I'll get back into the chat. We go all out of bubblegum. What is up, my friend? $10. Holy crap. I think the taking over of nerd fandom started almost 15 years ago by hipsters that just don't want to care about it like we do. Just look at the writers for Star Wars and Star Trek. All out of bubblegum. That is noted. I will respond to that because you are spot on. And I will tell you where they came from, because everything starts in comic books. I mean, like, you got to believe me on this, people. Comic books are the proving ground for the entertainment industry now. They didn't used to be, but they are now. They're like the minor leagues, and it's a microcosm. You are spot on, all out of bubblegum. I will get to that later. Silhouetted animator for $5. I can almost expect WB putting out a JLA director's cut in some rough form next year, just so Shazam isn't the only DCEU film in 2019. I would hope so. And I hope they all from Avengers 4 in that trailer that it pays to be patient, build stuff up over 10 years. And the only way they could screw this up, folks, is if Captain Marvel gets the kill shot on Thanos, if Thanos indeed ends up being the bad guy, which I'm not too sure he is the bad guy in this one. I was listening to Andre on Midnight's Edge earlier, and they talked about possibly Kang the Conqueror coming in, and Andre voiced his hopes for the Living Tribunal. I echo those hopes. I want the Living Tribunal. Kang the Conqueror, he could fix a lot of things, but it's almost a Deus ex machina because he travels in time, which makes him a very formidable villain. I like that they have a villain who travels in time, and he is actually a very good Avengers villain in the comic books. But I think if DC watches and learns, but after watching that Titans today, my friend, well, I don't know. The Batman and Jodie Whittaker is not the Doctor. Remember Heaven Sent? She's the first regeneration of a copy of Doctor. Yes. No, she's not. For me, Doctor Who ended at Twice Upon a Time, but honestly, the Day of the Doctor. The Day of the Doctor, I thought was a good ending. Real quick, Mr. Red Herring, Stephen Moffat, set up one of the coolest things ever that he didn't. At the end of Day of the Doctor, we knew Gallifrey was there somewhere. And I thought, and he made it sound like I'm going to go hunting for Gallifrey, and that you could do 10 years of that. And they just kind of willy-nilly did it and then answered it to the end, and everything looked rushed because it was. Like this Christmas, this New Year's Eve episode that's coming out, I bet you it's going to look rushed because apparently that production was thrown together in like a couple of weeks, folks. So, yeah. Maybe that's how they normally do things. I don't know. Thank you for the super chat, the Batman. It's good to see you. Okay. So let's get up to some of the chat here, and all out of bubblegum. I will not forget you. Yeah. Get off my lawn. Don't show me any trailers. Yeah, I'm kind of like that. And you know what? I can turn them off too. All right. So that's kind of what I do now is I just Into the Spider-Verse. Can we all agree it's been a little ridiculous how many trailers they've shown for this movie? I feel like I've seen the whole movie. It's gotten so bad that my 13-year-old son came in and goes, I feel like I've seen the whole damn movie. Yeah. Thank you for posting our website, by the way. I do appreciate that. Hopefully Thanos killed all the ancient aliens. Jay Weeks. Only half. Yeah, Connor B. Ronan. Yeah, I am hyped about that. I think that's a good character change. It's such a good costume. It is such a good costume. What do I think of the Captain Marvel trailer? I agree with Jeff at World Class Bullshitters, Jody. I believe that the smiling shots were reshot, and he pointed out, and I looked, and the smiling shots, she's alone in all of those shots. I think they actually reshot that. I think Captain Marvel it looks a lot like Green Lantern to me. It looks like Green Lantern. Here's the problem. I've read Miss Marvel comic books. I used to pick them off the stand when I was a kid. I liked the Miss Marvel comic books. I liked Miss Marvel more than I liked Captain Marvel. They never knew what to do with Captain Marvel, except for Starlin stuff. But then, of course, they killed him in the death of Captain Marvel. She never had really much. She's a blank slate. So they've retconned her into the Superman of Marvel. So you're going to introduce Superman in the final act of 10 years of building up. You're going to throw this thing in. I think it's a huge mistake. I think if they introduce her through Avengers 4 and in Endgame, she plays a little bit of a part, but not a whole lot, deserving of how much work she's put in, which is a movie 2 months before it comes out. I think we're okay. But I don't think it's going to end up like that. The trailer itself, the CG looked bad. The CG looked really, really bad. And Brie Larson just doesn't do it for me. Katie Sackhoff should have been Captain Marvel. Yes, Captain. And Brie Larson's too young to play Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel should be played by a woman in her mid-30s. Because like because you don't want her to be Captain Marvel girl. You want her to be Captain Marvel woman. You want her to be a woman. Like Superman can't be played by some wafy dude in his mid-20s. Like Superman's got to be, he's a man, like full grown ass, 6'4". Now, if you got a 28-year-old who's 6'4", but still they get the baby face. Superman has to be played by. So same with Batman. No little kid Batmans. Wilson. Robert Downey Jr.'s fingers have more acting chops than Brie Larson. They do. Oh. Brad Pitt, what's in the box? Pepper box. Pepper. Oh, that's sad, DJ Bowman. Oh, that ending got me too. I love 7. I think 7. There was a time I thought David Fincher was just the greatest director on the planet. I mean, he had a good run, The Game is good. Actually, he's done. Fight Club is absolutely genius. 7 is genius. Zodiac is genius. The Game is pretty good, but then he's done a couple turds. I think it's high time we get a ginger hair doctor. What do you think, Gary? Yeah. I picked. I always forget his name, but the guy who was in 12 Years a Slave. 12 Years a Slave. I know it's bad to not know that, but he played the operative in Serenity. That was my pick for the doctor. I also picked Cass Anvar from The Expanse because I think he's just got this. The doctor has to have a mop of hair. I don't know. That's how I got it in my head. DC's Captain Marvel for the win. Well, we're getting 2 Captain Marvel movies within a few months of each other. Lubella, I think Captain Marvel equals Jessica Jones in space. Yes. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Lubella. Yeah. And Jessica Jones season 1 was good. It was. Problem is season 2 was just season 1 with a crazy mom and no David Tennant. The girl from Chuck would have been perfect. Yep, you're right. Darth Merlin. There was a lot of people, and they don't have to be blonde. You can make women blonde. There is a lot of women who would have been fantastic Captain Marvels. I would even go with oh god, I'm blanking her name. I hate it when I do that. She looks like a soccer mom. Well, pre-soccer mom. I'll say pre-soccer mom. His name was Robert Paulson, Jay Wiggs. His name was Robert Paulson. No David Tennant, no watch. That should be a t-shirt, Gamer Gambit. Honestly, Gary, had the doctor after Capaldi been a ginger, that could have been such a cool moment. And the doctor's first line after regeneration is, "Finally, I'm a ginger." Right? We love gingers too. We do. I was born a ginger. I had bright ass red hair when I was born, but it faded away. Tenet as Kilgrave was so damn good. He was. I mean, as far as single performance, Tim F, that is the best villain in the Marvel Universe. I'd say performance over time is Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. Vincent D'Onofrio he's like Robert Downey Jr. The guy acts with every fiber of his being. A lot of actors, like it takes talent to be an actor, but they act with their face. A method actor becomes the character to the point where it's actually detrimental to their health. You have to be a little crazy to be an actor. Okay. A little crazy, a lot crazy. And you notice the actors, when they get older, they start losing it a little bit because they realize that they have a conflict in their mind. Some of them do, that I am, acting is a game for the young. And when you're like an old guy, you're considered a statesman and stuff. But then you realize I have been pretending my whole life. That must be rough. That must be rough. The cracks in the universe and reboot of it is all down to the Pandorica. That is when the Pandora was let out of the box, and thus we had the crap in Doctor Who that we get now, the universe explanation. Autumn Mirabel, sorry. When he rebooted the universe, he just simply rebooted the universe. Yeah. I had a hard time swallowing that one too. I liked, Stephen Moffat was really good at build-up, and then what? You rebooted the universe? Okay. You think the people who made the Pandorica would have thought of that. But that was also the start of the misunderstood villain thing. Like, you thought there was some big badass, and of course the Doctor, and the Doctor being the center of everything kind of got old too. Like this timeless child that we heard about in the Ghost Monument episode that they haven't brought up once, which is going to be probably in the last 5 minutes of the finale, is going to end up being the Doctor. There's supposed to be there's a bunch of rumors that there's a returning character, and it might be Missy or it might be Rose. It's not anybody. It's going to be, I think it's going to be the Stensa guy. I want to say Stenson, but let's hear. Let's Rose return rumors season 11 Doctor Who. I should have had this article up. Oh, that's weird. That's an old one. Is this for real? Okay, guys, here we go. This is from 6 days ago, and I've been hearing this actually for quite some time. Now they got some dumb thing over here. That Doctor Who season 11 spoilers, Billie Piper returns as Rose. But then they say, here's how. This could be bullshit though. And this is from 6 days ago. All right, so let's share that real quick. We're reading this together, so I have no idea. I only heard this rumor, and I'm like, but I kind of felt like that when I heard Jodie Whittaker was leaving after season 12. I kind of said that too, and then ended up being wrong. So here we go. Doctor Who season 11 spoilers. Billie Piper returns as Rose Tyler to series. Here's how. Doctor Who season 11 has been a huge success with fans across the world. When Jodie Whittaker took the role of Doctor Who, I would say it's a success in the UK. I don't Australians, how are the ratings over there? Because they're not great here. And it means she could be joined by an iconic character, but not in the one fans were hoping for. Doctor Who fans will be pleased to know Billie Piper is set to return. Unfortunately, not to the format a character once was. She was seen on the screen trapped in an alternate universe after being with the Cybermen and the Daleks. She then managed to teleport. Okay, we know, whatever. Fans will be able to explore Rose's journey through a dying parallel world, follow collapse. Okay, fans will see the plot explored Rose's journey through a dying parallel world following the collapse of reality, which is seen during the series 4 finale. Okay, fingers crossed. Rose's time in Pete's world, the universe named after, will be explored. Discussing her character, Billie Piper told Radio Times, "I loved how normal Rose is, and yet really extraordinary." Okay, what's the point? David Robertson, the producer of the miniseries. Oh, it's some bullshit. Okay, yeah, whatever. That's what it is. Clickbait, bitches. Okay. Yeah, I kept on hearing that, and I was like, there's no way she's coming back. So yeah, there was a lot of talk of her coming back and Missy coming back, and it's not. It's going to be the Tooth Fairy monster, the guy with his teeth in his face. Diary of a Call Girl. She might return. Wasn't she in that? And one of the writers for that show writes for Doctor Who now. So, and I thought of something when I was watching the Short Trek, guys. I was watching the Short Trek, and there's Gilmore Girl writers writing Star Trek, and then there's soap opera. EastEnders is a soap opera, and Doctors is writing Doctor Who. And I used to watch soap operas when I used to like get really stoned in high school, and sit and was too stoned to get up and change the channel, so I just watched a soap opera, and then I got into them. And soap operas are just storytelling to get to the emotional point, so it really doesn't matter how they get there. Rick cheated on Sally for the 17th time with her sister, and then she finds out, and it's all about the moment of finding out. So it's all about getting to that emotional part, and how we actually get there doesn't really need to make much sense, because they're just repeating themes. That's why soap opera writers should not write science fiction, because discerning science fiction viewers and fantasy viewers, we expect stuff to kind of make sense. We're used to things being slowly built up. We're used to world building, something soap opera writers are not asked to do. Okay, they don't have a world to build. It's a little set that looks like a model home, and yeah, that's usually what's going on. So yeah, it's really bad. You can't just jump in and write science fiction. Bring back I can't Absorbaloff. Bring back Absorbaloff. Hashtag. Thank you, Silhouetted Animator, for the $2 super chat. I don't know what that is, but I'm also on a lot of coffee right now. Hang on just a second, bud. No, that's not it. Oh God. Okay, gotcha. Duh. It's the Absorbaloff. Yeah, please don't bring that back. Actually, that would be good. That you think that would be the one thing they bring back? That's funny. That's funny, because Star Trek Discovery likes to bring back all the bad stuff too. Absorbaloff, of course. I should have known that. Yeah, I try to forget that episode. It's that and Fear Her are the two episodes I do not rewatch. Yeah, that one. Love and Monsters had Moaning Myrtle in it from Harry Potter. Thank you, Silhouetted Animator. You got me. You got me. Gamer Gambit for $1.99. No Valentine's monster. No. I you know what? I don't want the Stenza return too. The villains are just like, yeah, it's not Doctor Who, folks. And thankfully it's almost over. It's almost over. So what we're going to do Sunday, everybody, is we're going to do a review like normal. Then I usually do them pretty short, like 20 minutes or so. But then we're going to start up a live stream almost immediately after, like 10 or 15 minutes after, where we can just vent for hours if you want to. We can go as long as you want. There will be no time limits. Well, some time limits. I got a Christmas party to go to that night, but I mean, like, 2 hours if we want to like vent for 2-3 hours. That is fine. We will be your place to do that. And that'll be for our UK friends at 1:15 Pacific time. So that's about an hour and a half after it airs in the UK. I am able to watch it live. I love watching BBC. I also love BBC Radio. I like your horrible bubblegum pop radio. I am addicted to that shit. I don't know why. I don't even like the music very much. I'm not a pop guy. So, but I don't think there's a BBC radio channel for like, old punk rock and death metal. So, and I much prefer my punk rock English. I like some, American punk rock, but mostly Subhumans is one of my favorite all-time bands. So there you go. Any chance of a New Year's Eve marathon stream? Sure. Absolutely. I don't think we'll be the only ones doing it, but I've been wanting to do a marathon stream to see how long we can go. Those are kind of fun because you get punchy, but I don't have to keep it up on the channel, so like I can like play bass for you guys, do stupid shit, whatever. I'll take requests. It's all good. It'll be fun. Forgettable villains and uninspired storytelling pretty much encapsulates series 11, right? It does. Forgettable. It will not be talked about. The only thing people have been talking about Doctor Who is how much it sucks. All these people who are like, it's so good. Remember when we used to theorize like what's going on? Like, is Rory the Master? Like Yeah, like you could tell, like Russell T Davies would put plot seeds, and that guy knew how to pay shit off, man. God, I miss him. Uh, they're gonna Plastic Man is in the works, Mako. That'd be kind of cool. You got to make Plastic Man weird. Definitely got to be weird. Do, 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 do. We also got to get over here. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that Avengers trailer. I was so freaking happy with it. So, we're starting to see comic book writers starting to make a lot of money, especially ones who have done very, successful properties. We have our friend Brian K. Vaughan, who created Ex Machina, which is about a superhero turned mayor, which was a very good book. And then we also have he created The Runaways. He's done some very good work. He just inked a deal, uh, 8-figure overall film deal for Legendary. Fucking Brian K. Vaughan. I remember this guy when he didn't have 2 fucking shillings to put together. So good for Brian K. Vaughan. Why the Last Man and Saga. It's Saga, but I say Saga. Saga was a great story that just went completely off the chains. If they adapt the first part of it, it's cool, but it turned into the worst political allegory, like abortion town, like like it really, terrible. And it was like that comic. I couldn't keep it on the shelf. It would just sell and sell and sell. And too many delays, weird storytelling. Why the Last Man is a very good story that kind of missed its opportunity. If Why the Last Man came out about 3 years ago, would have been perfect timing. We're at the tail end of that trend, so I don't think so. Also, our friend Jeff Bezos, if you're worried that Jeff Bezos is running out of money, folks, don't. Amazon Video channels to generate roughly $1.7 billion this year, analysts say. Prime Video channels, which allows Amazon to sell subscriptions to over-the-top services for third parties, grew from an estimated $700 million in revenue. It basically doubled. The e-commerce giant Prime Video offering, which allows customers to subscribe to third-party streaming services like Star, CBS All Access, will generate an estimated $1.7 billion in revenue this year, according to a report. This represents the growth of $1 billion compared to 2017. Oh, it more than doubled. When the business brought an estimated $700 million in revenue. This is why he's going to crush Netflix. Just give him time. Netflix better start thinking about doing the same thing. And this is what's going to save the other streaming services, folks, because they are not all going to make it on their own. Maintaining these platforms is hard. You're going to have to push everything up to 4K like real soon. And then the sturdiness of your platform, like the Star Trek short trek last night was a half an hour late. It was a half an hour late. I mean, this isn't a Nerdrotic YouTube stream, guys. It's fucking short treks. I mean, I was almost thankful. I was hoping it wouldn't go at all, but it did. I don't know if any of you saw that. You in Europe don't get to see the short treks, and you are so lucky. You are so damn lucky. Soap operas are totally different beasts from sci-fi. Yes, they are. You can't just jump in and do that shit, Jody. No. Let's go down to Movie Finobi's gonna enjoy his sausage. Enjoy your sausage. Good night. Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch. Hello what's up, Feisty fan? Hello from Friday Night Magic down in southern United States. In the southern United States. Hope you're all doing well. We are doing well. I am doing well. I am solo tonight. What's up, Feisty fan? I hope Magic is doing well. STD is a sick joke, the DJG show. That last episode was, they can't go 15 minutes without, I mean, like, I won't say it destroyed canon, but it fucked with it. Like a lieutenant was able to break the prime directive. It wasn't Captain Georgiou, it was Lieutenant Georgiou, went by herself with no security again. This is another thing we got to bring up is do Michael Burnham and Philippa Georgiou have superpowers? Now they have a phaser, but last time I checked, even when the captain or a lieutenant went down to a strange planet, you always had security with you. But for some reason, like when Michael Burnham and Philippa Georgiou went to abduct a 450-pound Klingon, they did it without any security. For one, you rob us of the opportunity of having red shirts die, which is, something they really need to get back. You want to talk about getting something back. And two, it just shows how cheap they are with these damn short treks. They couldn't hire anybody to be security. So they shot Philippa Georgiou in this weird upward angle. So she only had to put on like half of her costume, or she wasn't really on the set. I don't know. I don't want to watch it again. Did they show her and Doug Jones in a scene together, or was it a shot to shot? Because if that's the case, then they shot her in costume, like in a closet somewhere with a green screen, and like it was absolutely noticeable. And then Anti-Trekker pointed out last night, which was great. She had to break so the Kelpian people who eat kelp, by the way, that's why they're called Kelpians, because on the nose, kelp, yum yum. Are pre-warp civilization, so they're not supposed to be contacted due to the prime directive. But a piece of an intergalactic civilization has ships that drop pieces all the time when they go and eat people, because that's what they do. There's some kind of deal where the bowels, I'm going to call them the bowels, came down and eat Kelpians, and it's just totally cool. And Saru's dad is the one who offers the people up and is part of the balance and the Great Watchful Eye and yada yada whatever. And a piece of the ship fell off, and then Saru, who's in this basically Stone Age civilization that is pre-warp, figures out how to work this piece of machinery and send it to the right people with only 6 or 7 characters. And they just happen to contact the Federation, who breaks the prime directive because somebody found technology and was able to call them. And that's a reason to break the prime directive. And of course, they let a lieutenant do it. They let her go alone, and she goes and meets him at a secret part of the planet. And then, of course, when she takes off in warp while still in the atmosphere of the planet, which, again, I got to credit to Anti-Trekker. The shockwave would have killed everybody in the village. Just dumb. Oh, God dang it. It's Star Trek and Doctor Who. It's like, God damn it, people. What about Cadet Tilly? There's no way somebody with her psychological issues would ever get into Starfleet Academy, let alone serve on a starship and go on a raid. She went on a raid, like a military op. She's all, I've never been on. This is my first op. Yeah. Well, no wonder why the Klingons beat their ass in the war. Netflix exclusives are hit and miss. Lost in Space was bad, but Castlevania was great. Differently abled Muslim, Jewish, lesbian of color. Yes, I agree. Lost in Space, when I saw it, I was like, okay with it. When I thought about it, it's pretty bad. Castlevania is great. Unbelievably great. DC Fontana is alive. She's alive and she's 79. Good thing we still have The Expanse. You're right, Kato Roan. The Expanse is our Star Trek. It's a lot of stuff. You want to see a television show that does all of these things especially Star Trek and Doctor Who, say you are. So all these things you say you are, but then pulls it off with perfection. The Expanse. The Expanse is a perfect TV show wrapped into a bow. Now, I know some people, like, we're all guilty of this. When we hear YouTubers talk too much about a show you haven't seen, and you hear people saying too many good things. Like some people have a resistance to that. They're like, oh, I got my expectations up and it wasn't that great. Man, Expanse will meet your expectations. You watch season 1, you will love it. The books are great that go along with it. Love the Expanse. The Dragon Prince is also great. You should review it. Made by the same people who did The Last Airbender. I need to. I did see it and it was pretty good. Parts of it. I didn't see the whole thing. I honestly find it. Thank you, Feisty Fan. I also find it hilarious how Star Trek Discovery is getting sued, and they deserve it for ripping people off in a horrible streaming service. Sci-Fi gaming, yes. Anas Abdeen. I did a video reminder on the day. Yes, it was on purpose on the day a Short Trek comes out, just to remind everybody. And I loved it that we kind of tag teamed with Mead, and we didn't plan that because Mead actually brought out some news that CBS has indeed finally made a statement. They lawyered up and they said, it's not true tardigrades can be found in nature. And then, of course, the retort was not giant blue tardigrades that can travel in time and space. So bullshit. You're going to court. Go get him, Anas Abdeen. I've had some interaction with him on Twitter. He's come into the chat before. He is a perfectly nice guy. Just wants to make his damn video game. He's taking care of 2 extremely ill parents. Send all the positive thoughts out to Anas Abdeen. We love him. And I just want, honestly, whatever happens, I want him to be happy. But if it really, the funniest thing would be that they would have to pay him. They would have to cease production and pay him for the Blu-rays and for everything. And I think it showed up in a video game as well. So he gets stuff for that. Netflix Lost in Space heavily overused the fathers are bad parents trope. The Batman, thank you for bringing that up. That is the thing I am. Somebody's got to defend. Okay, like the bad father. Man, was it used today in Titans too? Okay, the bad father trope is used for easy drama. It is so freaking overused now, though. It's getting ridiculous to the point where it's in almost everything we watch. I never used to remember it being such a big thing in genre, but it is now. All this stuff is creeping into genre because genre is popular right now. So genre is popular, and they are bringing we're getting a lot of newbies, and there's nothing wrong with that. We want new people, new fresh faces into genre, but have respect for genre. Learn about it. The thing is, the new crop of writers are not like big on the research thing. Some are, but a lot aren't. And a lot of writers are rolling through comic books thinking it's a quick way to Hollywood to writing scripts. And that's part of what's happening to comics. The Orville is amazing, Donna C, and it is coming back in 23 days. Chris Persia, what's up? I was a big fan of Dark Matter and Orphan Black, Filthy Farmer. I loved Orphan Black. I thought it was cool. I thought it was very cool. We would never get an episode like Father's Day now. Nope. Which, you know what? Like, Pete was he was still not the greatest father in the world, but like, he loved his kid, and and Rose got that moment with her dad. That was man, that episode gets you every time. It gets me every time. Doctor Who season 11 hasn't broken the top 20 of highest rated shows for the evening in Australia since the second episode. Eccleston and Tennant beat the top 10. Operation Sky Pebbles, thank you for the research. I really appreciate that. I can show you the American ratings right now. TV series. You can always go to TV series finale. That's a site that Susan showed me. I love how this Doctor Who Jodie Whittaker confirming for season 12 is like a clap back at us. Like, see, she's staying. It's like, no, we didn't say she was leaving in season 12. Never said that. That's not what our Starburst reported it. I didn't make this shit up, by the way. I'm running a search right now, and it really helps to spell Doctor Who correctly. Look yourselves, folks. There we go. And the season, the ratings for last episode dipped. It went up a little bit, but it was due to Thanksgiving. And I will also show you the Capaldi ratings in comparison as usual. Now for cable, for BBC America, I guess it's okay. BBC America is not in every household anymore. And there's a lot of cord cutting here going in the States, which means people are dumping their cable packages. I'm not too sure if you're familiar in the UK, but we have cable. So you can, or satellite, there's a few companies you can go through and they charge you anywhere from 80 to 150 bucks and you get like a certain thing of channels. Each channel has to pay to be on this network, and the cable networks have had a stranglehold on American television for years, and now they're paying the price, and they're going to go the way of Blockbuster Video and good riddance for treating people like shit. And that's what happens. And Netflix is, it's funny thing is Netflix put out, it's not that funny to people who lost jobs, but Netflix took out Blockbuster, took out the home video market, and it's going to take out the cable market. That is next. So the latest episode of Doctor Who was a 0.21. So it's about 800,000 people watched it. That is down from 1.3 million people. So we're down 40 some odd percent. Again, that is good, not great. But in a country of 330 million people, only 800,000 are watching Doctor Who. That was not the case. That was not the case before. And also, I go to places, and you guys are on YouTube. You go on Twitter. You see how little it's talked about, and what it is, it's just people arguing about it. Nobody's arguing about The Expanse. We're just like, the only thing you ever see about The Expanse is, I can't wait for season 4. That's what Doctor Who wants. Okay, whatever they say out loud in the boardrooms and everything, they want, I can't wait for season 12 from everybody. So no, if you have a split fan base, they're not happy. They're probably trying to figure it out, but they're going to keep Jodie, of course, for one more season. But she's gone after that. And then I don't know if we get Doctor Who after that. Doctor Who's amazingly expensive. Top Gear was amazingly expensive. I remember reading an article that, and they're in competition to the BBC, and there's a lot of people who are resentful towards Top Gear and Doctor Who for sucking up all the budget money for the BBC. But isn't the most watched show over there like some talent show or something like that? Doesn't that like just get millions and millions of viewers? Same here. We have our shows like that. I don't watch any of them. My wife likes one. It's So You Think You Can Dance. Okay, Filthy Farmer. That makes me happy. The Blue Beetle, I'm Zatanna movie. Now we're talking. As you can see, wait, I'm going to lift up my camera a little bit. You can see Zatanna right there. I love Zatanna. Paul Dini did a run of Zatanna, which I actually owed a Feisty fan. I promised to send those down to her, which is one of the best comic book runs there is ever. It's so good. Oh yeah, join our Discord, which I'm rarely on, to be honest with you. But tomorrow we're going to be doing a watch party for Counterpart, the final 2 episodes. If you're a patron, I'll give you access to the episodes. If you're not, and you got them at home, I guess you could join. It's cool. We're doing a watch party, and then we are going to, and then I'm going to, of course, review it tomorrow. I get it at 9 p.m. on Saturday because it drops at midnight. On Amazon Stars, Amazon Prime Stars. I cannot wait. Real quick. So let's get the spoiler paddle up. All right. So I'm not going to blow the end of Counterpart, but I rewatched the first 2 episodes and there's something I completely missed. Oh my God. So Howard, I know we said it before. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll keep. Don't be surprised if you find counterparts to counterparts. I'm just saying that. I'm just gonna say that. It's worth rewatching though. The Expanse has interesting characters popping out of the woodwork. Yes, the Batman, it does. It also has motherfucking Amos. See, why the Expanse appeals to so many people is because it does. It is a show for everybody. You have, it's not where Star Trek Discovery. I hate to come out and say this, but Star Trek Discovery's biggest mistake is the one like dude they had was Jason Isaacs' character, and he was an asshole. They didn't have like a dude, and that's all they really need. They need that and some good writing to mix it in with the cast that they have. The Expanse does this perfectly, and I hate the I know I hate a lot of terms. I don't like community. I don't like all these buzzwords, okay? Because they don't mean what as they're presented. It's a way to actually lie about stuff. It's intellectually dishonest, like I said before. Strong female characters, which means just a good character in a show who happens to be played by a female. Can we just call it like that? There are so many of those in The Expanse. Drummer, Kara G, or is it G or G? G. Kara G, who plays drummer. When you hear her in an interview, she's got this cute little voice, but when you hear her in the show, she's got this like deep, gravelly voice. I don't know where it comes from. It's brilliant. She's such a good character. She's such a good character. She's the one who got shot in the stomach and does those pull-ups, but it's believable. It's not some Mary Sue shit. It's really believable. She's raised in space. Yeah. You damn right. Blovine, dirter. You get woke, you go broke. I'm just tired of the politics. If it was the other direction, I'd be just as pissed. And I hate this argument. People going, it's like Doctor Who and everything's always been political. No, they've had politics in it. It hasn't been political. No, it's always been an exciting and thrilling sci-fi adventure. The new version of Doctor Who, I keep on hearing, well, it started out as an educational show. Yeah, it did, but this new version is not that. This new version is a more action-oriented, higher production, slicker production, thrilling adventure show. We're not getting adventure anymore. We're not getting thrilling. The camera work, I guess, is okay. They use a very expensive camera to shoot with. Some of the sets are pretty nice, but we're never inside the TARDIS anymore. Good night, filthy farmer. You take care. You take care. Gary is curious. What do you think of the Arrowverse DC shows? Greg McDonald, I am not a fan of CW anymore. I used to be a huge fan. Actually, this podcast was started on that stuff, but it just really went in a direction. It became too aware of itself, too cheesy, too political, and really concerned itself. It got CW, and that was our biggest concern when it started. Was my biggest shock when I saw Arrow season 1 and 2 and Flash season 1 is like, God, this is not very CW. That's great. Hopefully it won't get CW. And then it went full CW on us, which it's on the CW. I'm going to check out Elseworlds though, because I have to admit my interest is I'm going to check it out. I still like Arrow season 1 and 2 very much. Greg Olson ran that. He's the guy who did Daredevil season 3, and it was solid. It was solid. Amos may not be the most complex character on TV or as Christian. Damn, The Expanse is awesome. Yeah, Amos's complexities will come later. They're very subtle. And Christian Avasarala is you get what you see, and her complexity is you do not fuck with her. She will torture somebody. She will straight up torture somebody. What's up, Brian Smart? Good to see you. Is my video out of sync, guys? Maybe because I have too many windows up. Hang on. Give me a second. That should probably help things. Make sure I don't have any other programs up. Okay, we should be good. Let me know if that is a problem. Seasons 102 Arrow. Yeah, Nyla Shadow. They're great. I own them. On Blu-ray. It got way too concerned with who's sleeping with who, and I don't mind relationships, and it's not about like gay relationships or anything. I don't care about that stuff. It just got too many relationships, period. And I tried to dip in the Flash this year, and I just got so sick of the Flash daughter thing. I couldn't handle it anymore. I'm like, I don't care. I was starting to get a vibe. Like, yes, I watched Twilight. Okay, my wife liked the movie. The Belle vibe, where she's just this nasty person that everybody just falls over themselves to like. And I blame Twilight for the current writing that we have today, because we have so much of that where they don't feel the need to make a character likable. They just think, well, if we make everybody around the character like them, then the audience will. It doesn't work like that. That's some fan fiction shit. And quite frankly, that's what Twilight is. Connor Leslie, if she wasn't already Wonder Girl, would be my casting choice for Zatanna or Death of the Endless, says Silhouetted Animator. Oh, I agree with you there. Who could play Death from the Endless? Give me time to think about that. Connor Leslie is just perfect as Donna Troy. Perfect. She was perfectly charming in that too, as well. Amos Burton in The Expanse is a perfect example of the phrase "still waters run deep." Exactly, Batman. Exactly. I'm relying on you for Elseworlds review, since they just moved Flash to only the CW in Canada. Really? All right. Well, I'll do one. It doesn't look. It looks like it's. It looks like it's going to be mostly feelings and hallways free. Plus, bringing the old flashback, kind of, yeah. Stop running Windows XT. Oh, that's a slap back at my friend Brian Smart. I don't mind Nora, especially after last week's episode when it was revealed she's working with the Reverse Flash. Is she bad? See, if she was bad, then I might have to dip in. If they were setting her up to be bad this whole time, then you got me. Deranged Band. When I think of strong female characters, I think of Ripley and Alien, Sarah Connor, Terminator 2. Doctor Who just writes them as depositories or sassies for one-liners. Yes. Sarah Connor Chronicles, Lena Headey in Sarah Connor Chronicles. That was a bitchin' performance. A great, yes, I used bitchin'. Okay, I'm from SoCal. That was a great performance. It was a good series. I absolutely love it. Yeah. Cara G for Death. That's pretty good. John Wesley Shipp as the 90s Flash. I'm so in. Yeah, he's in. He's doing it. At least for a little while anyway. That's because when you write great characters, the audience responds and kind of rallies around the show. Yes, you have to write great, likable characters. Why did Guardians of the Galaxy work? Because Star-Lord was a completely charming, likable character. Period. That's it. Good side cast and everything, but you hooked him with Star-Lord. No, you're not forcing me. I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean, oh my god, it's so hard to watch television for this show. I mean, come on. Feelings and Hallways free. Hopefully, if not, I will review all the Feelings and Hallways. I promise you. I bet Nora is really Reverse Flash's daughter, says the Batman. Maybe. I'm gonna have to watch that now. I'm gonna have to watch it. The Flash has like been. The Flash and Arrow are like ones I can kind of dip back into once in a while. The Arrow's gotten a little crazy. But Legends of Tomorrow, which I loved the first season, loved it. went way off the rails. It's completely unwatchable, and I've never been able to watch Supergirl. Uh, well, then see, you're talking me out of it. I don't think Nora's bad. Everything she knows from her dad is from the Flash Museum. If they made her evil, I would be totally in. Otherwise, I just don't care. I just don't care. Um, uh, do, 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 do. Yeah, I can't. I just no. I'm so over it. I'm so completely over it. That's why I want the Teen Titans to succeed. I know it's a Berlanti production. I call it the Teen Titans. It's actually the Titans. And I was thinking today while I was doing my recap of the Titans, I was thinking of the Teen Titans theme song, and our good friend Tommelfinger wrote or did a quick edit for me of Robin stabbing a guy in the Johnson with a pair of scissors over and over again to the Teen Titans theme song, which is hilarious. But I was thinking of cutting something through all the really super violent acts throughout the entire season to the Teen Titans Go song, and I think that'd be really funny. I think that'd be amazingly funny. Make sure I didn't miss any of those. That is quite good. So how many of you have seen Counterpart? I'm curious. Respond back. Because I don't know if a lot of people have watched this show. Lesbians of Tomorrow. They brought my boy Constantine in, and it's just like he doesn't fit in that show. Constantine needs to be in like a streaming service or something, a hard R show, something on HBO. Matt Ryan's great. Felipe Diaz did. Fossil Bear, no. Don't forget the PayPal. Oh, thank you, Kato Ron. You're right. You guys keep answering. I'll be right back. Because I got to give people who give PayPal tips props. That was unexpected. I suppose I should kind of look at it once in a while. Oh, hang on just a second, folks. I'll be right back. I'm trying to see if there's a note to this. Okay, so this is from well, I don't know if I should say real names here. That's part of the problem. Hang on just a second. This one is from, we'll say Jeremy. We'll just say Jeremy. Jeremy sent, keep up the good work, Gary. Love your channel. Cheers. $50. $50. That is amazing. And I know we got one earlier, which was I got to go look at my summaries though. Pulling up here. I know this is boring, folks, but give me a second here. I have to acknowledge these. Why does that need attention? That's curious. Oh, and we got Peter. Peter, we'll just say Peter. I don't want to break people's wow. Okay, cool. Peter, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Well, the reason we're bringing up PayPal is there is a reason for this, by the way. And Cato was kind enough to send us a very large PayPal amount too. So, Cato, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, yes, thank you so much, Cato. And yeah. You guys are it's humbling. So what happened, guys, is Sargon of Akkad. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a political guy. He got kicked off Patreon. He got kicked off Patreon for his politics. I don't know what was behind the drama. I don't know why he was kicked off. I have no opinions for or against Sargon of Akkad. I don't like people getting Thank you, Cato, by the way. I don't like people getting kicked off of Patreon unless he, I don't know, murdered somebody. I mean, if it's just words that might be somewhat controversial, you know what? You're allowed to do what you want for your business, but I'll tell you right now, as a YouTuber, and Patreon, which is a local company, as a matter of fact, I was right by the building earlier today. I was right by the Patreon building. You guys, you got to let us, free speech is free speech, folks. And yeah, some of it's kind of tough. Again, I don't know much, I know a little bit about Sargon, but not much. But I know Patreon doesn't, YouTube nails us for like 30% on super chats and stuff. Patreon only gets us for 10%. PayPal gets us for nothing. That's how a lot of us keep, I subscribe to a ton of subscription services. I also provide them for a couple of our friends in the YouTube community. I'm paying, I won't out them, but for a couple of YouTubers are watching TV on me, on our channel, which I'm happy to share it. I'm absolutely happy to share it. And, Susan has access to everything I have access to. Same with Dennis. And, yeah, so we have to pay to keep the lights on and stuff, and we have to pay website fees and stuff like that. And this is kind of my job right now, and I've been able to focus on it full time, which has been a lot of fun. It's not been work, and it's kind of worked out. I would say it's kind of worked out, folks. And I want to say again, thank you to all the new subscribers we have. It just like, oh my god, it fires me up. Yeah, I miss Susan Hiddenwiki. I think she'll be back next week. Okay, exactly, Tyler. Free speech is not free from consequences. Free speech is only free from stopping you from saying it. Tyler X 2F01. And I agree on that. Absolutely. That's absolute part. And he paid the consequence. I will have to look into what he said to get kicked off of Patreon. They might have had a good reason. Like, for example, while I don't think James Gunn should have got fired, I understand why Disney did it. They had every right to do it. So I won't question them on that. I used to have a policy at the comic store that if you worked at my comic store, you did not get political, even on your personal stuff. And if you couldn't agree to that, then we're cool. You can't work here, but we're cool. Because even when you're associated to my brand, all right. Now, and I'm protective of my brands. And when I can't, especially something I worked very hard for, I would hate to see it mucked up by somebody saying something off the cuff. All right. Now, I never had that problem with the kids who work for me. It never was a problem. So everybody, and it doesn't mean they couldn't say they supported a president. Of course they could, but they just couldn't get into sniping and stuff like that. And it's because, well, I made the mistake of doing that stuff and pissing people off. And I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have my people do that. It was through a mistake I made. So, yeah. But you're right. It's not free consequence. You know what? You are free to call somebody a dick. And while it's against the law to punch somebody in the mouth, they can still do it. They can still do it. Yes, you will have consequences. It's best to be respectful. But if it was a personal attack or some horrible racist statement or whatever, but if it's just I'm disagreeing with somebody's politics, that's a problem. That's a problem. Check with Tim Pool for the story. I will. No, DJ Bowman, we do not fear the term for them is, it's not a term I even use that much. I was saying for PC culture, it's to keep me from saying SJWs, but that's what they are. And SJWs are extremists, are extreme, very judgmental lot on, the new Puritans on the internet, who are basically internet police, who are basically people with a lot of time on their hands. Most normal people are not like that. And I mean, normal is a very broad term, because we're none of us, we're not too normal here. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Uh, Yeah, PC culture, falso Bay Bear. That's it. The PC culture. It's taking the fun out of everything and being dishonest about what we're about. So the people who are criticizing it, they largely uh, hit us with generalizations, blanket arguments that are not true. Uh, they think we're some secret cabal, which is silly. Um, I coordinate with nobody. I coordinate with no one. I chat with other YouTube channels. Um, we agree on a lot of stuff, but we do not coordinate. It might have looked like it yesterday, but no. Um, what I've seen of Sargon, he is pretty tame. He is pretty tame. Pretty tame. But I haven't seen a lot, so I don't know. I'd really stay away from politics. Uh, I keep it to, I watched, he talked about Star Wars and comic books a couple times, and those are the videos I watched. Those are the vids I watched. Oh, man. So Charlie Cox is saddened about Daredevil's cancellation. Now, do you guys really think? Yeah, I'm sorry about IO9, but I'm just reading it for Charlie Cox. Netflix's cancellation of Marvel's Daredevil was a blow to many, but few more than Charlie Cox, the actor who played Daredevil himself, Matt Murdock. After a week of silence, he's finally come out and said his piece. A lot of us really expected to keep going. I certainly did, Cox told Entertainment Weekly. Truth is, I felt like we had a lot more stories to tell, and although I understand the cancellation, I am very sad. No, fuck off, Gizmodo. By that. Though Daredevil debuted on Netflix in 2015, Charlie was cast in summer of 2014. That's 4.5 years, a long time to be playing a character in this day and age. Plus, the show had just debuted in its third season, and a few short months, people were still watching and getting excited to see what was next. It's just how business works. But also, the characters mean a lot to people. It's weird to think there's a chance I won't be playing. Now, hear that. There's a chance I won't be playing Matt Murdock again. That's a bizarre feeling because the character has been such a huge part of my life in the last 4.5 years. And Charlie Cox, I hated your casting when I heard it. And I want to say bravo, my friend. Bravo. You are Matt Murdock. Now, I wish they would have dyed his hair red. It's kind of a nitpick. I wish you wore a costume in the third season. Hey, the Batman. Look, there's you. Oh, no. But fucking thank you for Daredevil. Daredevil season 1 is my favorite thing by Marvel. Period. End of story. Daredevil season 1. That hallway fight in season 3 is one of the best superhero things ever. That's right up there with Superman's first flight in the Donner film. I'm Batman in the Burton film. The kiss in the alley in the Raimi film. And now my favorite superhero scene is still Spider-Man 2, the fight on the train. I know. It's still great. Spider-Man 2 is still one of the best superhero movies ever made. Sam Raimi. If DC wants to turn some shit around, hire Sam Raimi. Have Sam Raimi do a Superman movie. Yeah. When asked whether he thought the series could have gone on after season 3, Cox was careful not to say too much because he didn't want to put salt in the wound. I hate to be boring, but to be honest, I don't think I should answer that. It's so new. The news, it's quite painful. That's pretty honest. For a lot of people, I really excited about the idea that we had talked about for season 4. And I think if I was to speculate, it would go on the internet. It might not be very helpful to people. Anything I say often gets picked up and circulated. And I think I want to make sure I don't want to give anybody false hope. Why can't more stars be like Charlie Cox? What a class dude. Straight up respect. Listen, I think he's being quiet because they're going to pick it up for Disney streaming, but I think it's going to be a radically different show. There also might be some contractual shit, and if it sounds like Marvel picks it up too early, there might be a little. I don't know if collision is the right word. Sabotage. There might be something Netflix can do legally if Marvel did indeed pull the plug and then automatically puts it back on their streaming service. Now, this is smart for Marvel to do, and DC needs to, we talked about this earlier, needs to do this shit like right away. They need to get all the CW shows. They need to get everything on the DC streaming service as soon as possible. And CBS All Access, I don't want to give you advice, but I'll give you advice. Get fucking Star Trek off Netflix and stop selling Blu-rays, or your streaming services will be meaningless. I mean, I have a million ways to watch Star Trek. Right now I'm watching it on Netflix, even though I freaking own it. I'm watching it on Netflix. Oh, look at those beautiful comics. Oh, the Quizmaster. Look at that. Oh, I remember those. Sorry. Comic books are pretty. Netflix, however, had no problem give fans who could end up being a false hope in its statement after canceling Daredevil. While the series on Netflix has ended, the 3 existing seasons will remain on the service for years to come, while the Daredevil character will live on in future projects for Marvel. So there you have it. It's gonna move on, folks. DC developing a Plastic Man. I'm gonna hit on this one too. Because somebody was nice enough to mention it in the chat. Warner Brothers is really stretching its limits with its superhero brand. The studio has just hired a writer to bring DC Comics Plastic Man to the big screen. Now, this could actually work, folks, if it's done weird. All right. Who would be a good director for Plastic Man? You guys are going to hate my answer. I think Tim Burton would be actually a very good director for Plastic Man. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, writer Amanda Idoko has been hired by a studio after a 1.5-year search for the right person to tackle the material. She was a staff writer on the ABC show The Mayor and has her first feature, Breaking News in Yuba City. Oh, never mind. So after a long search, you found an inexperienced writer who's never written a feature. Let me guess. Hang on. How Idoko will approach Plastic Man remains a mystery as to whether or not the film will be set in the DC Extended Universe, along with the upcoming Aquaman, Shazam, and the Birds of Prey, among others. However, the trade reports Warner's is planning to staying true to the lighthearted and even silly tones of the character. Yes, that makes sense because it feels like a general direction the movies have pivoted as well. Aquaman is very lighthearted. Shazam obviously looks like it will be as well. Birds of Prey certainly seems playful, although it's rated R. You guys know what you're writing about, right? Yeah, so, here I'm going to just take a look at this writer and take a look at our IMDb. Dun, 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 dun. This is the person taking over your Plastic Man. I'm going to also check. The thing I'm curious about is I'm going to go to her Twitter real quick and see how often she's tweeted about comic books prior to Plastic Man. Because my guess is, yep. Okay. So, yep, here we go. Plastic. What did you say? Comic books. We'll put her name in comic books in the Twitter. I hate to do this to you, but I just want to see how big of a comic book fan she is. No results. No results. All right. So her IMDb says She's done The Conservatory, Breaking News in Yuba City, and then a video short. She was on Good Morning America. Oh yeah, I mean a long, extensive search for the perfect writer of Plastic Man. Yeah. What's up, Howard Bandy? How are you? How's it going? Oh, it's 9:25. We still got time. We've only been going for 2 hours here. US's version of Red Dwarf did not work. No, the US versions of English shows never work. We don't, it just doesn't mix very well. Your take on just it'd be like well, there was an American Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It was the Disney movie that came out. Even though there was the English people behind it, of course, but it was very Americanized. And yeah, that just did not work in so many ways. One of the bigger disappointments. I knew they couldn't do it perfect, but God, it had a good beginning and then it just went off the rails. Big Villain team shirt. That's right. From Venture Brothers, yo. My son has one. We do the twinsy thing once in a while. They better do a lot with Plastic Man. A comeback from Mr. Fantastic, says action figure expert. I guarantee you that the announcement of this, if you guys noticed, Kevin Feige will announce Fantastic Four something in the next 2 months. That is my prediction, because every time the DC, when they announce New Gods, boom, Eternals. Kevin Feige, you watch the Fantastic Four. This will guarantee us a Fantastic Four announcement, ladies and gentlemen. This Plastic Man. By the way, she's just hired as a writer. She will not write the finished script, and this thing, I highly doubt will see the light of day. Howard Boundary, Gary said, "What's up? I was just going to tell you to include an @Nerdrotic channel, but Gary noticed it anyway." Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Being Human American Being Human American remake actually ended up better than the original, a rare exception. It did. It was pretty good. You're right, Penn Farm Girl. Marvel copying DC. What else is new? I know. But the problem is, the general public thinks it's the other way, and it must make DC fans insane. Like, Justice League's a copy of the Avengers. I did like the American Being Human. I thought it was quite good. That's why it's so upsetting about the BBC, like the BBC being like just this uber. Oh my God, I read this article. It's like people are insinuating that the BBC is putting in politics. I find that absurd. Really? 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 Okay. What's next? The Wonder Twins movies. EJR, that was one of the best. Wizard Magazine did a April's Fools that Alex Ross was going to be doing a Wonder Twins. And I remember people were like ordering it. Yeah, it was funny. Here, let's see if that comes up. Wonder Twins, Alex Ross. This is back in the 90s. Yeah. Dun, 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 they saw this and they're like, we're going to I didn't own a comic shop. This is before my time. Yeah, they saw that and they thought it was really happening, which, I mean, like, knowing Alex Ross, he'd probably do it. Form of Water. That looks great, by the way. I like Alex Ross. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Sam Whittier was amazing in as the Vampire Alien. Yeah, he was. And I thought he I gotta go. There wasn't a lot of you watching Counterpart. That's kind of a bummer. It's you know what? Stars is a bitch. Stars is like really hard to get to, and yeah, yeah. Donna C. Sargon got kicked off of Patreon. Patreon. I think he also got Sargon of Applebee's. It's funny. Um, uh, so okay, supposedly he was removed from Patreon because of violations of his terms of service. Oh, okay. Well, what are the violations? I mean, that's how YouTube knocks you down. They just say you broke the community guidelines. What are they? They're guidelines. They're lines of guide, and you must follow them. So what are they? Guidelines. Okay. All right. We got suspended. Thankfully, nobody was watching, but it was a little over a year ago. We got a 3-month suspension for reasons that I do not know to this day, and it sucked. But we made it through, and here we are. What if they make movies of Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, action figure expert? I think they're better suited for television, to be honest with you. I keep Michael Coulter as Luke Cage. Definitely recast Iron Fist like immediately. Um, I would say bring Daredevil over and have those characters cross over. I would honestly do a Defenders show, and it doesn't have to like focus on them being a team together all the time. They can be working separate, but definitely focus on Daredevil. Have Daredevil be the leader. I'd be cool with that, but not fighting a 60-year-old socialite, who looks like she should be at a dinner party. Fighting an actual bad guy. I mean, Sigourney Weaver was so bad in the Defenders, and they had Madame Gao. Madame Gao was badass. Ah, Dwayne Johnson for the Master. Julia Roberts' brother played the Master. That's hilarious. Okay, Jody, you got me beat. Sorry, Edgar Wright, Plastic Man for the win. Yes, I wish we could have seen an Edgar Wright Ant-Man. That you're right. That is much better than Tim Burton. Much better. I would love to see Edgar Wright take on a superhero movie. I am a fan of Scott Pilgrim, and I did not like the comic at all. Archie Bunker Three's Company and a load of camp from British originals. Yes, so tons of stuff did. Yes, but that was in the '70s. The Batman. I mean, that was a long time ago. Da, 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 da. Charlie Sheen as the Riddler. That would actually. I mean, is he? How's he doing these days? I haven't seen him in a while. Is he still winning? Chuck Norris back in the day would have been a perfect Iron Fist. That would have been great. I was trying to remember. I was talking about this on our Patreon. I used to cast movies because I was a dork in my head, and I used to draw movie posters, and I was casting X-Men God Loves Man Kills. And I showed the people on Patreon who I casted. James Remar as who was the dad in Dexter. He was also the bad guy in 48 Hours as Wolverine. Albert Finney as Professor X. I couldn't remember Magneto, but our patrons cast Patrick Magoon as I can't say his last name as Magneto back in the day, which would have been perfect. Oh, so good. Tim Matheson as Cyclops. Trying to remember who else. Brad Dourif as Nightcrawler. And see, that's a fun thing to do if you're really bored. You cast superhero movies for an era. That's the kind of thing you do. We used to do that when we were waiting for movies to come on. Get to the theater early before the trailers start. Yeah, so you cast like a Batman movie for with 1940s actors. I mean, does it get fucking nerdier than that? I don't think so. Uh, Charlie Sheen as the diddler. Andre Brandon, that was good. You win. Kevin James is Batman. No. Brad Dourif would have been a brilliant Nightcrawler, right? Oh, so good. Young Jack, maybe, but Jack Nicholson is always Jack Nicholson. James Remar, when he was young, here he looked like freaking Wolverine. I'll show you. James Remar in 48 Hours. 48 Hours is one of the greatest movies ever made. Filmed here in San Francisco. Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte. This isn't the best picture in the world of him, but what the hell? James Remar. He was a little too tall still, but he had that gruff Wolverine look, and he acted the part so damn good. James Remar is was a underrated actor. Got typecast as bad guys, but you know, I dug him. But Patrick McGowan as Magneto would just, that's the shit. That was such good. I wish I could take Uma Thurman can play Tim Drake's fighting staff. has she gotten skinnier? Hugh Jackman as Dirty Harry. He could actually pull that off, Matt S. I think that's actually pretty good. James Remar and the Warriors. Fuck yeah, Tim F. Come out to play, yay. Puppy from American Gods needs a new, good new role. Yeah, Puppy. Well, American Gods is coming out March 10th. It returns March 10th, folks. And that is a good thing. We will be covering every episode. Do you feel lucky, punk? Danny DeVito's Puck from Alpha Flight back in the day. Yeah. Yes, Joe. That's the thing. That's what I was talking about earlier. Is the word diversity just means less white. If they just came out and say, the reason is they can't come out and just say that, although it'd be honest. And I mean, really, would anybody have a problem? It's like, hey, we're trying to make things a little less white around here. Not completely less white, just a little less white. But using the word diversity is, well, it's just dishonest. And also it's looking at the world. I mean, if you go look at the definition of bigotry and stuff, it's generalizing, and it's still generalizing, but apparently it's not generalizing. Generalizing is generalizing. Mad Max. What? Do you think Tom Brady should have continued Mad Max fishing? What's Mad Max fishing? I don't know. This week's Titan was harsh, ignoring the cliffhanger completely. And we went on this weird side story that had child molestation and bereavement and bad fathers and substance abuse. Nobody put on a suit. Well, there was a superhero costume, but it was a football uniform. And the origin of Hawk and Dove that had nothing to do with the powers of order and chaos. Dove's mom and Hawk's brother were standing next to a newsstand and got hit by a car, and they got together in a bereavement group. So their whole relationship is just based. It's not really based on real love. It's just based on not wanting to feel pain, which probably led to Dawn cheating on Hank with Dick. She was messing with Dick. She had Dick on the side, and that's what she got. And you know, Hank has his own problems. He has like, man, they gave him everything. He's got a little PTSD. He's got concussion. He's been abused. Yeah, it was just a really fun episode of Titans. The show with the Teen Titans. That was it. Reno Williams, The Adventure Begins, Plainclothes Superhero, Best 80s Kid Hero That I Wish a Comic, Cloak and Dagger, loved Dabney Coleman is The Invisible Hero. Both great movies. Autumn, absolutely great movies. On the topic of Neil Gaiman and British TV, your thoughts on Good Omens? Have you read the book? And what do you think about the casting? The Raven Strider. Yes, I love the casting. I love everything I see so far. I haven't seen anything that makes me mad. I can't wait for it to come out. I think it's coming out in the first. I saw a little trailer at Comic-Con. It looks amazing. It looks like Gaiman Unbound. Like he's being allowed to go full Gaiman. So we'll see how that is. It looks amazing. And I think that's his best book. So, I mean, I like American Gods too, but Good Omens has because he co-wrote it, and it's got more flair, I guess. Does that make sense? I do like American Gods though. I do. The casting of Good Omens was dead on. Excited like hell for it. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to try hard for that to be bad. Is Doctor Who going to kill off Graham? I think so. I'm forgetting the actor's name. He said he only wanted to do 1 year, and it looks like another one of the companions might be gone as well. I would love a proper adaptation of Discworld, especially Mort. Pity Christopher Lee isn't around anymore, right? To play Death. I'd love to see scene 1 from Good Omens where, yes. Well, I think we might. Anyone remember American Gothic? Yes. Bradley Walsh. Thank you, Donna C. Who has been the best thing in the show. He's absolutely been the best thing in the show. Gaiman's worst book was his remake of the Eternals. I'm honestly amazed Jack Kirby didn't return from the grave to kill him. He would have had to have gotten in line behind me. Yes, that's the one where the giant Eternal is standing in Golden Gate Park. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, my man. That book was hyped so much. It sold pretty well, the Batman, but people were not happy with it. I did like Gaiman 1602. I thought that was pretty good. Wilford Brimley as Wolverine. Okay. What, in 1920? He's still alive, right? He's just one of those guys who looked old all the time. I did know Sean Cassidy wrote American Gothic, DJ Bowman. Sean Cassidy has written a lot of weird television. Has never been able to get it off the ground, but it's always been interesting. The one where the deviants were created as snacks for the Celestials. Yes. God. Diabetes for Wolverine. Wilford Brimley is still alive. He's just looked old all his life. He rolled into this world looking old. Yeah. Maybe Sean Cassidy could write Doctor Who. I would volunteer any of you to write Doctor Who, especially since with some of the Christmas ideas we've gotten. Okay. Peter Jackson offered to make a Doctor Who episode and write and direct it, and they couldn't get it going. It's fucking idiots. Peter Jackson needs to make LOTR epic live action level Warhammer 40K. The Horus Heresy would be his Star Wars of our generation. Tom Baker could voice the narration like a Warhammer 40K or the Tau video game. Autumn, yeah. You know, it's funny you bring that up. At this time of year, and it's just because the movies were released, I always fire up Lord of the Rings. I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy during the holidays, and now, yes, I watched the damn Hobbit too, and yes, I like them, and I know they're bad. Okay, don't need to tell me, I know they're bad. But the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I fucking love it. It's probably like as time has gone on, it's elevated above Star Wars. I love it to death. Uh, we should mix our favorite character, Time Lord, with a certain Marvel Comics nuclear physicist, Doctor Hulk. Doctor Hulk. That'd be interesting. If the new $6 million Man remake were today, would the dude be a plastic surgery and look like a doll and not be accepted in society? That would be kind of funny, Matt S. I think that's a funny story. It's because Peter Jackson is not a Brit. Wellington, Smithopolis, you're right. Well, that's a bit nationalistic of them, isn't it? Autumn, yeah, nice. I love Lord of the Rings this time of the year too. Yeah, it just feels right. No on the Hobbit live action. Animated is better. Animated is better. DJD show. That used to I don't know how old you are, DJD show, but when I was a kid, I watched the animated Hobbit and I always felt sorry for Gollum. I was like, why are they so mean to him? That's right. Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, and Scrooge are my Christmas movies. Oh, I can't wait to roll all of those out. And Batman Returns. I watched Batman Returns, which is my favorite Burton Batman movie. It is. Lord of the Rings, I'll still watch. Hell, you better watch it, DJD show. Um, Doctor Who meets Rip Hunter in a Doctor Who DC crossover. We could tit for tat if they're going to write Doctor Who for Rosa Parks, then we can have a Legends of Tomorrow go to Princess Diana's last moments in life. I'm sure people in the UK would love American writers taking that on. Lesbians of Tomorrow. Aren't lesbians of tomorrow lesbians of today? Just later. Rory is Rip Hunter. They brought him back, right? Poor Rory. He got the shaft on that one. He definitely did. Right. Talk amongst yourselves momentarily. Constantine is bi in Legends. Well, he's bi in the comics, but it was never really talked about that much because he was too busy like fighting demons and stuff. I mean, I'll have to go through and reread my fucking multiple volumes of Hellblazer, but I just don't remember him having a lot of sex. I mean, he had some, but it wasn't yeah, actually he did have sex in the book. Now I think back, yeah. But it was with women. I don't remember having sex with dude, but I always remember him being bi. That was always the thing. How many times did they kill Rory? 4, 3, 2 or 3 now. No, I can't remember anymore. They should have made Rory the master. Yes, Tim, everybody isn't gay on Legends. And it just turned silly Billy. It's no stakes. Like the CW became too tongue in cheek for me. There's a fine line between cheesy and tongue in cheek, and like it's as tongue in cheek as Batman 66, except Batman 66 like reeks with charm and art, and and it rides the line perfectly. Like it's for kids, so the kids are there watching the whole biff bam bow, and the adults are getting all the weird inside jokes. It's kind of like the first 2 seasons of SpongeBob. But CW superhero shows are supposed to be superhero shows, and they were set in the tone of Arrow season 1, And if you look at Arrow season 1 and then watch the current season of Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl, you're like, these do not occupy these aren't from the same world. And I know Supergirl isn't, but she kind of is. And Batman 66 had writers, and Batman 66, like they rolled those episodes out like a machine. That was back in the days when a season of television show would be 30 episodes. Like season 1 of Star Trek is like 30 episodes. And now they like complain when they can't crank out 13 or 12. They talk about how taxing it is. You know, Shatner's walking around like, do you know how many times I had my shirt off and my stunt man was going to yeah, I'm rewatching Star Trek in order, by the way, to get ready for Star Trek Discovery. And God, the stunt man work was so bad on Star Trek. It's so bad. I forgot. I just tried to block it out of my mind. Well, I'm doing. You're going to see in a video, but there's a lady who put out an article on Doctor Who, and she just breaks out the same bullshit argument of if you're against the show, you're a racist and you're Trump supporter and all this other shit, and it's nothing about entertainment. And she's so fucking patronizing, and she talks about watching some vloggers videos. So it was brought to my attention. I thought it was very interesting, and I have a retort because I think this poor girl's like new to the whole like culture war, whatever the hell's going on. So I'm gonna help her out a little bit. She says she's a Whovian now, but that was after she completely dissed everything about Who. She starts the article out saying, Daleks are lame, Cybermen are lame, Time Lords are lame. Yeah, it was almost too easy. It was one of the easier videos I made. Um, the Christmas video, I'm trying to keep the Christmas video from being like 45 minutes long because it's long. So I'm probably gonna have to add some stuff into the live streams. But you guys, like, thanks a lot to everybody who submitted Christmas ideas. Some of you were kind of funny, some of you were really funny, some of you were very poor taste, bad boys and girls. And then some of you were like genuinely had some good stories. I'm like, I'd watch that. Fuck yeah. I ran a couple of the ones I could by Nerdrotic Jr. He thought they were good. By the way, you would be very proud of my son. My son is trying to reboot the Marvel universe, and he has the best idea. And it started out as when I'm driving him back from school, we pitch comic book ideas to each other. He's a budding little writer, so he wants to undo One More Day in Spider-Man. So we thought of a way to undo One More Day that really makes sense. I know they're kind of doing it now, but our way is better. And then he kind of extrapolated it out, and he found a way to get rid of, like, through the One More Day story, he found a way to get rid of Nazi Cap, and all the SJW Marvel characters are going to die really heroic, good deaths. So they're going to go out heroic, but they're all going to die. And then, which is hilarious. And yeah, he finds a way to fix everything, and it's going to reset the Marvel universe to the end of the story Back in Black, which was pretty much the last good Spider-Man story. It was written by Straczynski. I liked it, but it led into One More Day, so it's very bad for that. He's like, he's got notebooks on this. He's like really doing it. I love it. I fucking love it, man. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's an awesome kid. A total nerd alert, right? Um, so yeah, they my son is on the spectrum, my younger son. And he's aware of it. It's really a weird designation because he's just a weird kid. I guess they had to put him on a spectrum because he's a weird. I was a weird kid too, so I probably would have been put under the spectrum. Fine, I don't care. But yeah, I mean, it gets him a school. I mean, he gets his own school bus for it, so we're okay. Honestly, it's a waste of taxpayer money because he's fine. But yeah. But yeah, thanks, Gamer Gambit. Yeah, he's a good kid. His name's Logan. He's named after Wolverine. He's Logan Tiberius to all the new subscribers. So he's named after Wolverine and Captain Kirk's middle name. Yeah, the Batman. I think everybody in here, I can say this with all the endearment possible. We're all weird kids. You're right. Darkseid could form gems out of the cores of the lantern central power batteries. Ooh. And Nyla Shadow is just like, I love how much of a comic book fan you are. Gives me hope, man. Because there's not enough of us left. There really isn't. I'm trying to make more. Okay. And I'm too old to make any actual new nerds. So I'm taking the kids I have. I did okay with the oldest one. He's a gamer. So that's cool. We love weird. We do. We do. Dark side would make Thanos a slave. Yeah, Thanos, he's popular, but he's not like the most powerful. I mean, he's a very powerful villain, but he's not I mean, he's not dark side. No, Thanos is a titan. Dark side is, a god. Um, yeah. But we like Thanos because Thanos is a talker. Thanos is a talker. Um, I really love his interaction with Warlock, and him and the death of Captain Marvel. It's such a good character, and they did a good job. Yeah, there's some illogical stuff in Infinity War, but I watch it all the time. Like I'm at the gym, I'll put on like the first 10 minutes or something like that. Yeah, I find myself watching it all the time. For one, it is a pretty fucking movie. That 4K is fucking beautiful. Um, I end up watching it all the time. And then I think, well, most of my comics didn't really make a ton of lick of sense, and I didn't care. Um, they found a way to get all those characters in. I think it's beautifully done. It went full superhero. They went cosmic. They amped up Thor's power. Um, uh, they brought back the Red Skull, and no, it wasn't what's his name, but I didn't care. They brought back the Red Skull. Um, and hopefully that's a way to bring him back, because the Red Skull is seriously one of the best villains Marvel has, and they just don't use him enough. He's right up there with Doctor Doom to me. So, and man, do we need a Doctor Doom in the Marvel universe, right, guys? Galactus cannot be a fucking cloud. That's what I'm afraid they're going to do to Trigun and Titans, folks. I'm afraid they're going to make Trigun like a dude in a suit or a fart vapor or something. I don't know. Too many normies in the world. Let your weird out. Hell yeah. Silhouetted Animator, $10 super chat. Resetting the DCU timeline. Add an ending to Justice League Snyder Cut with Darkseid arriving at the Justice League are unprepared and get wiped out. Wonder Woman warns her past self in 1984, setting up Wonder Woman 84 and Titans timeline. I love it. Do it. Dr. Doomcock. He's probably still streaming. Is he still live streaming? He does those 5-hour jams. He's probably singing, getting all punchy right about now, whipping out his Frank Sinatra tunes. I'd make Trigon a nice guy who's faking being an evil demon to include his spoiled daughter who wants to be a superhero. That'd be hilarious, the Batman. Because that's what she like. She does not look like Raven is my favorite character, and hopefully they change her. Raven is supposed to be deadpan. Who would be a good Raven? All hail Doomcock is still at it, is he? That is hilarious. I love it. Who would be a good Raven? Ellen Page would be a good Raven. Am I getting that right? The one who played Kitty Pryde. Somebody who's deadpan. Who would be a good Raven, like a real one. I'm trying to look right now. What do you guys think about Aubrey Plaza as Raven? She's too weird. 11 from Stranger Things would be a good Raven if you were going to go young, and which Raven should be young. Ellen Page is almost a little too old, but she's deadpan enough to do it. Aubrey Plaza's too weird. I love Aubrey Plaza though. I love Aubrey Plaza. That's the girl who played Hit Girl. Yeah, she'd be good. She'd be very good. Aubrey Plaza as Starfire. She could do Starfire. She absolutely could. Oh my god, the damn Starfire wore that costume the entire season, folks. Or she's going to wear it the entire damn season. Do you believe that shit? Do you utterly believe that? I don't. Sorry. Moments of silence suck. Aubrey Plaza as Death. Yeah, yes. She can play anything. She actually has screen presence. She has charisma. You want to talk about somebody cool, Christina Ricci. Yeah. Oh my God. Mr. Twisted 72, you know how freaking old you make me feel by saying Christina Ricci is too old for a role? I think I'm gonna die. Uh Aubrey Plaza in a live action Darla movie would be great. Aren't they going to do something like that? Aubrey Plaza could play anyone. You know what's funny is her role in Legion was written for a dude, and she pulled it off great. The reason Wonder Woman chooses 1984 is because it's the year Lex Luthor Jr. was born in the DCU. He's 31 in BVS, and and him contacting Apocalypse and ruining Soup's image ultimately ends the world. It sounds great. Here's the problem, Silhouette Animator. They're not going to be making a Superman movie for years. So they're going to continue the DCEU with Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and the Birds of Prey. They better pray because I don't know if that's going to work. Now Batman's coming out soon, but like we haven't heard shit about the Batman movie. Aubrey Plaza is amazing. Who's that? Did I see that as Raven? Tatiana Maslany. I have to look that up, Captain Robert April. Give me just a second. I will take a look. We'll see who that is. Oh, dude. Yeah. Duh. How can I like Orphan Black Girl? Yes. Absolutely. She's so funny. She reminds me so much of a friend of mine. She looks exactly like my friend Stephanie. But she's a little Russian girl. Do you think the Nick Cage Superman would have worked if it got made? Oh, hell no. That would have been just the biggest train wreck of all time. It's weird, but no. Nick Cage would have tried though. He is an actual comic fan, but no. I'm so glad that didn't happen. What? Destiny Captain. There's an amazing anniversary today. Flash Gordon was released 38 years ago today. Destiny Captain was 10. I was 11. I was 11 when that damn movie came out. Yeah, she is damn talented. Yeah, I want to see Dwayne Johnson play Black Adam. I think he'd be good. Orphan Black, she was fucking awesome in that. Vanessa Hudgens is Raven. Ooh. Uh, I'm not complaining about that one. She could play Raven. It's as long as she can do okay. It's like Christina Ricci's attitude as Wednesday Addams is Raven. Raven is Wednesday Addams. So that's how we got to approach it. So who could ever play Wednesday Addams can play Raven. Oh, I put Game of Thrones in my thing. I should check. So the Game of Thrones teaser was the table, Aegon the Conqueror's table map at Dragonstone, freezing on one end and catching on fire in the other. And they made a point to show the lion getting burned. They're talking about betrayals. And, God, I hate that. Game of Thrones was my favorite thing in the world up until season 7. Okay. Like it was I couldn't stop talking about it. This whole channel was supposed to be just Game of Thrones theories and stuff. Didn't work out that way. But those are my first recaps were Game of Thrones recaps. But I put theme music in them and got copyrighted and all that shit. So they're gone now. I fucking love Game of Thrones. I've read the books multiple times. I've got theories that have come and gone. My theories make Preston Jacobs look good. But it's they only got like 6 episodes left. And what time do you have for betrayals? And who are you going to betray people to? The Night King, the one we've known nothing about, that has not been introduced in the books yet, by the way. By the way, if you're worried about like where we are in the books, Jon Snow was stabbed at the end for the Watch, under very different circumstances than in it's very similar, but everything in the show is smaller. The book is like much bigger. There's a lot of characters and stuff and a lot of things. Like the one thing the show added that was good was the Battle of Hardhome. They showed that, and it was amazing. Now they haven't actually done it. They referred to a Battle of Hardhome, believe it was Cotter Pike sent a letter saying, send help. Dead things in the land, dead things in the water. We're getting overrun. So yeah, but mostly the show kind of went to crap in season 7. I rewatched it again. It's got great moments, great battles and stuff, but just it did what Westworld season 2 did. It just vastly overpowered. It's like Sansa Stark was running around Winterfell, talking about, I know other people brought this up, but it's true, talking about like, oh, your leather isn't tied properly, and like correcting like freaking knights on shit when she didn't give 2 shits. Sansa was all about lemon cakes, and yes, Peter Baelish was teaching her, but she was teaching her the Game of Thrones, not like what a knight wears and ruling. He wasn't teaching her ruling. He was teaching her how to get the job, not necessarily how to keep it. Arya becoming Batman, which is fine. The problem is they rushed the job at the end. They got us there. They got us to the Faceless Men. They started showing some of the training, and then all of a sudden they said, she's done. What? All she had to do was kill the wait, what? The whole Faceless Men thing like turned into I'm bummed, man. I'm bummed because they did such a good job adapting the books up until, I'll say, season 5 to halfway through season 5. Seasons 1 through 4 were pretty damn solid, but they lost. They didn't go with some narratives they should have gone with in the books that would have kept them going longer. If they would have really dug into the Feast for Crows and had Brienne going on her little mission, they could have drawn things out for a long time. I don't understand why they didn't do that, though. Sansa Stark is a moron. She is. She got her dad killed. Okay. But her dad got her dad killed too. Let's face it. Ned was kind of a moron too. We love Ned, though. We love fucking Ned. But man, he had to go. And Lady Stoneheart, right? You leave out Lady Goddamn Stoneheart, and she is going to be, I think she's going to be the key to John. Remember, with John, they really made a point that there's ice cells at the wall. There's ice cells at the wall. Like, John's not going to pop right back up again. I think they're going to put him on ice for a little while. Game of Thrones lost their way with political intrigue, and they finally got around to the Night King story arc, and the political stuff. It just made the show so good. And the Hound. Yeah, I love Ned. Ned Stark. I mean, he's dead, but never trust a Stark. Hank Pym. That's true. That is true. Oh my, it's getting late for some of y'all. So yeah, I'm gonna, you know what? I'll let you guys can all go back to Doomcock because he's still going. I'll check right now. That maniac. He only streams once in a while though. And shit, I'll be back on Monday. Actually, I was supposed to do a special stream today. It got rescheduled. I am going to be doing that. You got to be up late, but I'm going to be doing a special secret stream tomorrow night after Counterpart to talk about the very special anniversary. And it's not going to stay on it. I'll either put it on Patreon or our website. I don't know. We'll find out. And it's going to be something besides pop culture. I had a big anniversary today, which I'll save for that, a personal anniversary. And it's a big deal in my life. And I'm going to share it with you guys. But it's personal stuff. So, I mean, we can always talk about pop culture too. But yeah, we'll get into that. So that'll be sometime tomorrow. Tomorrow we have our Counterpart watch party for our patrons. And there is a Doctor Who video coming. Exozone next Saturday. Exozone is next Saturday, not tomorrow, but a week from Saturday on Dewcock's channel. Then we're covering Counterpart regularly. We have a Night Flyers review this weekend. Remember, Doctor Who is going to be 2 parts. We're going to do the review, which of course you guys can jump in and join in, but then we're going to have a discussion afterwards so we can have a nice big long discussion about it. Or maybe you'll just be over it. Yes, I'm going to be self-doxing Tim F. That is basically what it is. It's better to get out ahead of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Plus, everybody knows, like, it's not a huge thing. Actually, if you go back to our first or second American Gods review, I blabbed it in that, so it's not a huge secret. But it might take a few people aback. But I've been pretty open. I'm pretty open. We're very transparent here. So yeah, I've led maybe, I don't know about rough and an interesting life. May you live in interesting times. No Exozone this week. It'll be next week. Actually, Doomcock offered this Saturday, but I thought next Saturday would be better because I wanted to cover Counterpart's premiere. I think we're going to move the Counterpart reviews to Sunday after the first one. So we'll go from there. But yeah. Yeah, thanks. Would anyone laugh if Chris Chibnall was crushed by a police box falling on him? That's a bit harsh. How about just a nice severance package? Like, give him a nice big fat check and send him on his way. You know, that's what I would do. Nothing bad happening to these people. I'm pretty fiery in my video, though. I don't mean to get that fiery. I'm usually not. It helps me if I hit play. Boom, let's hit play. These are our wonderful patrons. Who's not on there is OG Spock Love, who's probably over at Doomcock right now. I'm just kidding, OG Spock Love. I'm just kidding. OG Spock Love and Michael J. Crawford are our newest patrons. We had some people up their levels. I want to thank you guys, by the way. I got to see who I got to look at my Patreon here. I should have this stuff ready. Thanks everybody for supporting us on Patreon. We got some new patrons and I'm really appreciative of that. I don't want to sign on with my Facebook. Come on. And next week hopefully Susan's back, but yeah. You guys are used to me. So we have John. I'm gonna mess up your last name, Pontorio. Pontorio, welcome, John. And Ren Loves, welcome. Jason Remington, Lee Crystal, and OG Spocklove. Wow. And John Nada had to change, and that's fine, John. We love you, John. Thank you so much for coming in. And Lee, right on. And congratulations on your sobriety, Lee. Yeah, I've been sober for a little while, and I've been in and out of the program for many, many years. I have an AA story. I will be telling my AA story late night Saturday. It's not something I want to keep on the channel, but I don't mind telling it. I've told it hundreds of times to thousands of people, and absolutely everybody knows. So it's sad. It's thrilling. It has a happy ending so far. So we'll just go with that. Good night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our Friday Night Tights for tonight. And oh, wow. And for some reason, Jeremy from Geeks and Gangers just popped up. I got his notification. I accidentally hit it. What's up? Time for another video. Is that how he does it? I don't want to ever do that again. I'll never do that again. I promise. We love Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers. Totally disagree with him on JJ Abrams, but that's okay. Otherwise, I like what he does over there. Beltalauda. Dennis is on assignment. How's your father? Doors and corners, everybody. And everybody, good night. Let's first off, we have to thank our super chats. We can't forget our super chats. We had so many tonight. Thank you, guys and gals. And again, thank you for choosing us. I know, like a Doomcock's streaming, and sometimes it's a tough decision. I don't take it personally. You can watch either one as a video, but I know it's better to actually interact with the live stream. You could jump. I'm sure people jump back and forth, and that's totally cool. I'm down with that. And no, I'm not. He streams when he can. He's got a tight schedule and he just does when he can. And we're actually scheduled out. So, you'll have plenty of times to catch us, or me anyway, if you want. Movie Finobi for $4.99. Movie Finobi for $1.99. The Batman for $2. Movie Finobi for $1.99. Formerly Rodline for $1.99. G Graham for $5. All Out of Bubblegum for $10. Oh, I forgot to get back to that. God damn it, All Out of Bubblegum. I'll tell it really quick after this. $5 for Silhouetted Animator. The Batman, £5. Lubella, $2. Movie Funobi for $1.99. Silhouetted Animator for $2. Gamer Gambit for $1.99. Movie Funobi for $1.99. Tyler X2F01 for $5 Canadian. Silhouetted Animator for $5. Silhouetted Animator for $10. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, All Out of Bubblegum theorized this, that I'm thinking I think they're taking over nerd fandom. Started almost 15 years ago by the hipsters who just don't care about stuff like we do, like Star Wars and Star Trek. That's exactly what happened. So the new crop of artists, All Out of Bubblegum, all came from a thing called the Alternative Press Expo, which is called APE. All the zine artists, all the comic people who hated superheroes are now running superhero comics. They put them in charge because for one reason or another, they were able to work for cheap. That's why the art has gone downhill. The storytelling has gone downhill because you have a bunch of zine people making superhero books, and they fucking hate superhero books. I had a love-hate relationship with the Alternative Press Expo. It was here in San Francisco, and everybody causing trouble on Twitter right now, every single one of them is from the Alternative Press Expo. This whole DNC versus SJW Marvel is from the Alternative Press Expo. That's where it all started. So All Out of Bubblegum, you were absolutely right about that. That's where the battleground came, and it's because they don't like superheroes, and it's beyond me why somebody who doesn't like superheroes wants to run a superhero comic company. Sana Amanad doesn't have a background in comics. She defunct runs Marvel Comics right now. She has a political background. She has a straight up political background. And I'm starting to look into more. I went beyond Doctor Who writers, and a lot of the new crops of writers who are showing up in TV and stuff, look into their background. Political playwrights, political majors in college. There's a lot of politics going into our art. I think that's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. And maybe it's why a lot of it just sucks right now. So we'll leave it at that. I love non-superhero comics, Johnny Papas. I do. I adore them. Some of my favorite are, but I don't think the two cross over very well. Or when somebody like Garth Ennis comes out and says he hates superheroes, but when he writes a superhero, he'll take it like he takes it seriously. Like he'll take it seriously. So, because he's a pro. Because he's a pro. The people from the Alternative Press Expo largely aren't uber talented. Like Scott Pilgrim is as good as it gets. Okay. And I respect that book for what it is, but I don't like it very much. I heard they deporned Tumblr. Well, goodbye Tumblr. I don't think anything should be deporned. I don't think so. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for a couple hours. I really appreciate it, especially when we had such considerable competition. Look for some of our videos that are coming out. We have many videos coming out in the next weekend. I've been hard at work on that stuff. Again, I am very grateful to have this great community here. It's a lot of fun. You guys are funny as hell. You're also very cool to hang with. You're the best chat on YouTube. And my God, I can't wait to start covering good television. You know what? I'll give up a few clicks so I can watch Counterpart. Oh, it's going to be so nice. Just watching it again, it's been so good. So yeah, Doctor Who's almost over. So we'll see some of you in the UK on Sunday. Remember, it's 2 parts. We're going to do 2 live streams that day. Please check out nerderotic.com for our live schedule. Thanks to the absent Susan and Dennis. Hope Susan gets better. And may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Good night, everybody.